The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas.
That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors.
The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
At Toyota's national sales event, we don't just help you get the perfect vehicle. We're here to open new doors that lead to your road to greatness. Your journey starts at Toyota's national sales event.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I'm Corey. I'm a dairy nutritionist here in the Treasure Valley. I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to do my part to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. As soon as the vaccines were readily available, I was vaccinated. I would encourage people to do the research, listen to the healthcare providers. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, there was hardly any wait. It was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
It's not a secret that finding a new car this year is a little tricky. Between chip shortages and supply problems, there's more reasons than ever to come to our no-problem dealerships when you need a new car or truck. Our acquisitions team works hard to make sure that we have a great selection of vehicles to choose from, and our easy-to-buy, easy-to-do business with sales team is ready to deliver the same great value price that we've had for nearly 20 years. Teton Toyota, where it's always no problem to buy and service your car.
Welcome into this IdahoSports.com Game Streams production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group. Our major sponsors that make coverage on IdahoSports.com possible include your local Toyota dealer, Toyota, let's go places, Valleywide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter, Idaho Fights Tobacco. We come to you live tonight from Hiram C. Blackburn Field in Rigby. The men of Troy do battle tonight. It's the 1-0 Rigby Trojans hosting the 0-1 Post Falls Trojans. Hi, everybody inside the broadcast booth. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane. Well, Sean, Rigby looked pretty dominant in their season-opening victory over Skyview High from Smithfield, Utah last week.
Yeah, Rigby looked great. They got the ball all over. A couple different receivers went big for them. Tiger Adolfo was amazing. He was 22 of 27 passing, 287 yards, 3 TDs. Can't ask for much more. Also got it done on the ground with 53 yards and 2 TDs. So, 5 total touchdowns. The defense also came up big with sacks and interceptions. So just an all-around offensive ambush from Rigby with 410 total yards last week over Skyview.
And that's no slouch of an opponent. The Bobcats came in with a 27-game winning streak that was halted by the Trojans. They were the two-time defending state champs down there in Utah, and they usually have a couple of D1 players per season. So Rigby got all the way to the championship game last year, of course. They won the title 2 years ago, got back to the championship last year, dropped that heartbreaker 17-14 to Rocky Mountain And since then, this has been a Rigby team that has come into the offseason with a renewed focus. I believe I saw on their social media before the season started, they're calling it the Revenge Tour.
Revenge, redemption, something with an R, Rigby, right? But they're out there to get it, and they have played great all season last year. We got to see him play. We got to see him play last year. Just put up some great numbers and just fell a little short. But yeah, I think they are locked in and ready to chase that blue trophy this year.
Tiger Adolfo, of course, returns as the starting quarterback after starting last year as a junior. He's got a couple of Division I offers from Kansas as well as Hawaii as the Trojans come running out onto the field with the battle axes. And these Rigby fans, I will tell you, the tailgate started around 5 o'clock tonight, Sean. When we got here, the parking lot was full. They were playing cornhole. They were cooking food on the grill. It looked like a good time.
Yeah, it smelled good. It kind of smelled like funnel cake. Could have been the fair, but I think it was that tailgate down there for sure.
Now, on the flip side tonight, the Post Falls Trojans make the long trip down here to Rigby. Post Falls fell last week to Sandpoint in their season opener, 35-7. We're not used to seeing that from that explosive Post Falls offense.
No, I mean, in fact, last year Rigby and Post Falls played an instant classic, right? It went down to the wire, and Rigby won 44-42 over Post Falls up north. But last week, Post Falls had a little harder going, only getting 7 points total, and just not getting much going on the offense. Jackson Anderson was 8 for 12, 112 yards, but he had two TDs or 2 interceptions on that game. So, the Trojans of Post Falls are going to have to look to get a little more going offensively tonight.
Yeah, when you talk to the Post Falls coaching staff, they're working in a lot of new players in terms of returning guys from a year ago. It's Jackson Anderson, the quarterback, and Zachary Clark in the secondary. He led the state in interceptions a season ago. But beyond that, it is a lot of new players. And so the key tonight for Post Falls is going to be more consistency and getting that rhythm going. They also had a lot of dropped passes in that loss to Sandpoint last week. So the captain's going out to midfield right now to meet for the coin toss, Sean, and then we will have our national anthem, and then it'll be time for football. And, we talk about preseason expectations. Post Falls was picked to finish second in the preseason coaches poll up north in the Inland Empire League, only behind Coeur d'Alene. Rigby actually was picked to finish in a tie with Highland, but that's because I think a couple coaches didn't send in their ballots, and so it kind of. But no matter
two top teams every year, right?
Right.
Can't blame them there.
So it'll be pretty exciting to see how Post Falls adapts and responds. We talked about each team working in a lot of new faces, including a pair of transfers at the wide receiver spots for Rigby. We'll see Sam Coons line up out wide tonight. He was at Hillcrest High School last year. And for Post Falls, a big-time receiver that they're hoping can really get going is the senior Carson Tucker. He spent his first 3 years at Meade High School over in Spokane, and I've been told dude's a baller. So we'll have to see if Post Falls can get things going a little bit more offensively tonight. Either way, I think Rigby's going to put points up on the scoreboard. It's all a matter of can Post Falls match it.
Yeah, can Post Falls keep that momentum going, keep the scoring up, because it's going to be very difficult, I think, for any team in the state to stop Rigby this year.
So it looks like the coin toss is over. Rigby will receive to start things off, which means Post Falls will get the ball to start the second half. So the men of Troy battle tonight. The Post Falls Trojans 0-1 on the season up against the Rigby Trojans. They're 1-0. We'll have the opening kickoff for you right after this break. It's East Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
Banking. Maybe you enjoy the person-to-person attention you get going to your bank. Maybe you enjoy the convenience of banking from home sweet home. Or maybe you like the flexibility of paying your bills, applying for a loan, or talking to your personal banking person from wherever fits your fancy. Then definitely, you should bank at Mountain West Bank. Member FDIC. The easy, convenient, any way you want to bank.
Don't you just love it when you realize that you've got the very best? Like being here in Idaho, it's the best. Just like John Adams GMC. recently awarded Business of the Year here in Rexburg. That's because we want the best just like you do. The best service, best selection, best prices, and of course, the best warranty with our famous John Adams Warranty Forever. Come and enjoy the best at John Adams GMC in Rexburg, where we're founded on values and committed to excellence.
I'm Dr. Christine Hahn. I'm an infectious disease doctor, and I'm Idaho's Medical Director for Public Health. It's my mission to keep our communities healthy and safe. That's why I believe every Idahoan should get their COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine's been tested. It's proving to be very safe, and it's the most effective tool we have to stop the spread.
Walk into a pharmacy or visit covidvaccine.idaho.gov to find your free COVID-19 vaccine.
Welcome back to Blackburn Field in Rigby, East Idaho game night on IdahoSports.com. I'm Brandon Baney. He's Sean Kane. The coaching matchup tonight, two of the better coaches around. The head coach for Post Falls is Blaine Bennett. He was a longtime college coach, very successful at the college ranks at Central Washington, among other places. He's been everywhere. He coached over in Europe. He coached professional football overseas. He's a coaching lifer, but he's really settled in at Post Falls High here over the last 5 seasons or so.
Yeah, he's been there for 6 seasons, and what a beautiful place to settle in at, right? Up north, just beautiful landscape, and he's got this team always competing every year. It seems like they always come out strong. They always have guys. That's just how your program looks if you can come out every year and be competitive.
And the head coach for Rigby, the always energetic Armando Gonzalez. He was the head coach in California for several years before coming to Rigby, and of course won the state title 2 years ago. So here we go. Post Falls will kick off to start tonight's contest. And back deep to return for the Rigby Trojans, standing around their 10-yard line. 2 return men ready to go. So here comes the opening kick from the Trojans. This will be taken by Rigby at the 11-yard line on the return, across the 20, the 25, the 30, and a return out to the 34-yard line. And on the return for the Rigby Trojans that time was Zabe Falavai, the junior. He's Zeke's younger brother. Zeke, of course, will see a lot tonight at running back.
Yeah, they used him a lot last week too, even though it was a pretty high aerial attack. He still got 13 carries for 53 yards and a couple TDs, but he'll definitely be involved heavy tonight.
So 1st and 10 for Rigby. They're in the gray jerseys with the maroon pants. Post Falls in the white uniforms tonight. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Adolfo, hard count, and Post Falls jumps off sides. That was big number Trevor Miller at the nose tackle position for Post Falls, and a good hard count to start.
Speaking of that opportunity, I got to talk to Coach.
So just like that 5-yard penalty, it'll be 1st and 5 now for the Trojans from their own 40. Haven't even run a play yet, and they're already in great field position.
Yeah, Rigby is a well-oiled machine offensively.
Out of the pistol, Zeke Falavai started left, works right, has the first down across the 45 and to the 48-yard line. So that is an 8-yard gain for Zeke Falavai, and on 1st and 5, that's enough to move the sticks. So fresh set of downs here for the Rigby Trojans. It'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 48-yard line at that big maroon R. In the middle of the field. Adolfo out of the flat will sling it to Zeke Falavai. Went to a knee, stayed on it. Still going the 40 and out of bounds. Right around the 33-yard line, they'll call it. So that is a gain of 23, actually 21 on that reception to Zeke Falavai. And another first down for Rigby.
Looked like he was going to go down and just able to hold his feet there and get those yards. That was a great catch, great second effort.
1st and 10, Rigby in the hurry up. Adolfo going to take a deep shot. That ball is thrown high. It is deflected and then almost caught off the carom, but ultimately it will fall incomplete. Great coverage out there for Post Falls. Looked like it was trying to see who was out there in coverage for.
I believe it was Zachary Clark, their big-time cornerback, number 26.
It was. And then almost catching it off the carom was Taylor Freeman. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch all night tonight, Sean.
Two tough guys there. You know, he led Clark led with his interceptions, and Freeman, he can get down the field quickly.
Out of the pistol, 2nd and 10. Adolfo looks right, thought about running. Now we'll try and set up, and now we'll take off and run. And we'll duck out of bounds just shy of the 25-yard line. So Tiger Adolfo, you know, that's the thing about Rigby. The key to the Trojans' success this year is going to be how that front five plays on the offensive line. That time Adolfo had plenty of time to throw and ultimately took off and ran for 8 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 2 now for Rigby. So 3rd and 2 for the Trojans. Ball at the 27-yard line. They've got to get to the 25 to pick up the first down. Adolfo out of the pistol. Now Falavai shifts. Back to pass. Slings it. Short side. That's caught. It should be enough for the first down. That was, now they'll say, incomplete pass. So they were trying to go to that short side of the field to Nakeetan Foster, senior wide receiver. Ends up falling incomplete, and it's 4th down, and Rigby going to stay out there and go for it.
Adolfo getting the play from offensive coordinator Aaron Flowers there on the sidelines.
Look at this. Trojans going to go 5 wide here. 3 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom, including Falavai in the slot. They'll throw it. That's caught on the curl route. Coleman Lords inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That's a 9-yard connection to Coleman Lords. His first grab of the night. And on 4th down, Rigby converts, and now they're inside the red zone.
Just a nice way to spread out the defense there, getting 5 wideouts, just lots of options. And like you said, Brandon, if the defensive line can give him time, he's going to be able to do stuff.
Adolfo under center this time, hands off to Zeke Falavai, and Falavai will take it inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line for a gain of 6. So that's something you don't see often, Rigby going under center.
No, usually they kind of have him in that shotgun position, and he either makes a read to run the ball or pass it, so a little different.
2nd and 4 for the Trojans. At the 14-yard line at Post Falls, 10 minutes to play in our opening quarter, no score. Adolfo will hand off the right side into the end zone for the touchdown. That's a 14-yard touchdown run for Rigby. Riker Kirkham, the senior, got it from the slot, and Rigby strikes first.
Rigby with the 6-0 lead in the first quarter, and there are the fireworks here at Rigby High School.
There go the fireworks as well. We saw that last week in Aberdeen, Sean. Maybe that's a new thing. Every high school's got fireworks ready to go.
I guess. I mean, I didn't know there is such a high demand for them, but.
So Kirkham with the 14-yard touchdown run, and now the extra point try is through, let's see, they'll say wide right. So put up that time by Forrest Uminski, the senior, and now they'll say it was good. So PAT is true, 7-0 Rigby on top, and a pretty impressive opening drive there, Sean.
Yeah, great start for Rigby. It started with some runs, and and then that short kind of jet sweep kind of pass out there. He almost went down, but got back up, went for about 21 yards, and that kind of got Rigby in scoring position. And then they got to 4th down, spread it out. Five wide receivers got the 4th down, and then one more run, and they're in for 6.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Taylor Chevrolet, proud to support Rigby Athletics. Taylor Chevrolet has been serving the Upper Valley for over 90 years with excellent service and a stellar sales team. Taylor Chevrolet is the home of oil changes for life. That's right, buy any new or used vehicle and never worry about your oil again. Taylor Chevrolet is your Southeast Idaho auto leader with a wide selection of Chevrolet, Buick, and Cadillac models. Come in today and get the vehicle you want with oil changes for life. Stop by their Rexburg location or visit their website at www.taylorchev.com. Uminski ready to kick off here for Rigby. 2 Post Falls Trojans back deep to return. This is a high kick, will be taken just shy of the 10-yard line, bobbled for a moment by Tanner Sessions. Sessions just trying to make something out of it and will be brought down around the 16-yard line. So Sessions came up to get it, bounced off the chest plate, and because of that, Post Falls will start inside their own 20-yard line to begin. And now we'll see what this Post Falls offense can do. One of the only returning starters from a year ago is Jackson Anderson, senior quarterback. All the skill guys graduated, so it's a new group that he's working with, and Post Falls still trying to work out the kinks here in the early season. 9:49 to play in our opening quarter. It's 7-0, Rigby on top. So Jackson Anderson will start here out of the pistol formation. Man in motion from the slot. The penalty flag comes in on a false start. Well, we'll see what they call here. I believe it's going to be a false start, and it is.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
They got the right tackle out there for Post Falls, and that was a tough break.
So both drives have started off with penalties on the Trojans.
So now 1st and 15 from their own 11. Anderson again out of a pistol formation here. It's Jacob Sullivan, the running back behind him. He was Post Falls' offensive MVP after that 35-7 loss last week. He scored the lone touchdown for the Trojans. And they'll start with Sullivan off the right side, and quickly there to make the stop and letting everybody know is Hunter Neal, the senior linebacker. So that was a gain of only 2 on the carry for Sullivan.
And Hunter Neal had quite a game last week for Rigby. 6.5 tackles, 2 for a loss of yard, but 2.5 sacks. So great game by him last week.
Yeah, Skyview was under pressure all night. This is a Rigby front 7 that is loaded for bear. You can see all the guys switching around there. 2nd down and 13. Now Anderson's just going to take off and run to the 15 and stumbles his way forward down around the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 9 now for Post Falls. So they take it to the 17-yard line. A gain of 5 on the run by Jackson Anderson, and it's now 3rd and 9 for Post Falls. And both teams will run an up-tempo offense tonight, Sean. They'll keep us plenty busy. 8:40 to play opening quarter. 7-0 Rigby on top. Post Falls facing a 3rd and 9 inside their own 20. Anderson out of the pistol. Taking his time, now we'll take the snap. Here comes the pressure from Rigby. Anderson in trouble, steps up, throws over the outside. It is caught and pushed out of bounds about a yard shy of the 1st down. A nice job of hanging with it, though. That was Carson Tucker, the Meade High transfer from Spokane, who made the grab. Now they're going to mark him out of bounds, actually, back around the 22-yard line. They needed to get to the 32 to pick up the 1st down. 27-yard line to pick up the 1st down. So Post Falls will punt away here on 4th down and 4. Zabe Falavai back deep to return. That's a good high kick. Falavai's got to retreat back to the 35-yard line now on the return. Well, he brought down almost immediately. Great job on the coverage by Tanner Sessions of Post Falls. And so a 3 and out for Post Falls, back to Rigby.
Great punt there and good coverage coming out from Post Falls. Session got down there quickly and just wrapped him up. Nice tackling there.
You already saw it on that opening possession for the Rigby defense. They are great at rushing the passer. Jackson Anderson, though, showed good pocket awareness to step up and avoid the rush. So.
Yeah, that was some good movement, but those Rigby linebackers are moving all over, making it very difficult for him.
1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 36-yard line. Adolfo under center again. Man in motion is Coleman Lords. They fake to him, and now they go to Falavai up the middle. And Falavai will take it across the 40 to the 41. That's a gain of 5 on 1st down.
Looks like that fake jet sweep. Fake handoff to number 4, Coleman Lords, the senior.
So Zeke Falavai already 3 carries for 19 yards, picking up right where he left off last weekend in Utah. 2nd and 5. Adolfo back to pass, slings over the middle, in and out of the hands, incomplete. Trying to go to Taylor Freeman on the slant route that time, a little too hot to handle.
That was that Clark-Freeman matchup again. And that might be one of the biggest key matchups tonight, because that's Tiger's favorite target really is Freeman, and Clark is all over him. Good defense, good offense right there.
Tiger Adolfo only missed on 5 passes last week. He's already missed on 3 tonight. It's 3rd down and 5 for Rigby. Play action fake. Adolfo with time over the middle. That ball is caught shy of the 50, but now I don't think he got enough for the first down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Well, now where the officials are coming up to spot the ball, it does look like he got enough for the first down, but he caught the ball initially and then retreated back, and so that was Freeman on the reception, and it is enough for the first down.
Got him on the forward progress there, but it was close to going backwards for him.
So 1st and 10 for Rigby now. Ball at their own 47-yard line. 7:20 to play opening quarter here on East Idaho Game Night. Option play off the right side. Adolfo fakes the pitch, now cuts back across the grain. Inside the 40, the 35, the 30, and he will skip out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 23 for Tiger Adolfo. So Tiger Adolfo, he's got the good arm, but he can beat you with the legs as well. 7:07 to play here before the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Rigby on top, looking for their second score of the night. 1st and 10 from the Post Falls 30. Adolfo rolling out, fires deep, got a man. It's Coleman Lords into the end zone for the Rigby touchdown. That's a 30-yard dart to Coleman Lords, and it's 13-0 Rigby.
There go those fireworks once again here in Rigby, Idaho, as the Rigby Trojans go up 13-0. Great play by Tiger Adolfo to roll.
Coleman Lords just found the soft spot in the coverage there, Sean, and caught it around the 4-yard line and dove for the pylon the rest of the way. Uminski on for the PAT. That one had plenty of distance and through.
That was a pretty good-looking kick. That was good from 30.
He's got a leg. Last year he played soccer, and so the football team kind of just borrowed him for his kicking abilities. So 14-0 now, Rigby on top. Tiger Adolfo, a 30-yard touchdown pass to Coleman Lords. And, of course, the kick by Uminski to make it 14-0 Trojans with 7 minutes to play in our opening quarter of action. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Northwest Paint and Body. Check out Northwest Paint and Body for the best auto body services around, including collision repair and framework. Call Northwest Paint and Body at 208-664-6635 to schedule an appointment. For more information, go to northwestpaintandbodypostfalls.com. Northwest Paint and Body are proud supporters of Post Falls Athletics. Good luck in the game tonight, boys. Tonight's game also brought to you by Super One Foods. At Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard. Number 1, they have lower prices. And number 2, they make your dollar stretch further. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard. Everyone at Super One Foods wants to wish the boys good luck in tonight's game. Uminski to kick off again here for Rigby. Tanner Sessions will take it at the 10. Clean catch this time across the 20 through the middle and brought down just shy of the 30. Well, Sean, this isn't a must-score possession for Post Falls, but it kind of is.
They need to get some momentum, get a couple first downs. I mean, they need to get on the other side of the field. We've played this whole first quarter, and on this side of the field, they really need to kind of get the momentum shifted here.
$6:55 to play here in our opening quarter of action. 1st and 10 for Post Falls. They will hand off to Jacob Sullivan, looking to get to the right side, and we'll get 2 yards, not much more than that. A nice gang tackle by the Rigby Trojans. And the first guy in there on the stop was Dusty Wright, senior defensive end. So it ends up being a 3-yard run for Jacob Sullivan. And Post Falls will hurry up and get to the line and run the hurry up here with 2nd and 7. Anderson again out of the pistol formation. Will turn and give to Sullivan off the right side this time, waiting for the block to develop, and it never did. Rigby right there defensively to snuff it out. And it'll be a gain of 2, they'll call it, on the run to Sullivan. It'll be 3rd down and a long 5 now.
And, you know, in talking to people around just different coaches and things, you know, Rigby's line, their defensive line is just not giving up much, and that's what people said is kind of not so much an unsung hero, but that defensive line does not give up a lot of easy holes or anything. They're just very solid in their stances and their assignments.
Rigby runs that 3-4 defense, and with so many talented linebackers. Handoff again. This is across the 35. Down around the 37 on the carry for Post Falls for the first time tonight was Ethan Bates, a senior. So Ethan Bates on the carry will get 4 yards, and it'll bring up 4th down and 1 here, Sean. And it looks like Post Falls will elect to punt away again here with the ball at their own 39.
Tough call, but I think you just got to push Rigby back farther
and
at this
of course,
point.
This could be prime position for a fake as well, and I think that's exactly what they want to talk about. So Rigby takes the time out here. First time out of the half, and while we have a moment, we'll let you know that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Madison Memorial. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs from time to time. Curveballs like carpal tunnel or tendinitis or trigger finger. Curveballs like knee or hip problems. At Madison Orthopedics, right in Rexburg, they specialize in taking care of issues exactly like these. And they do it in the least intrusive, most effective way possible. It's amazing to see. Give Madison Orthopedics a call today at 208-359-6781 to see what they can do for you. That's Madison Orthopedics. Tonight's game also brought to you by Knutson Chevrolet. In the market for a new Chevrolet or a pre-owned, you'll find it at Knutson Chevrolet in Post Falls. Browse their selection online at Knutson.com or visit their showroom at 1900 East Polston Avenue in Post Falls. Knutson Chevrolet, where friends have made friends since 1939. Knutson Chevrolet for all your automotive needs, and proud supporters of North Idaho Athletics. Find new roads. So again, look at this, the Post Falls offense out there now on 4th and 1. They may be doing a hard count to try and draw Rigby off sides, and then we may see Post Falls take a timeout and then actually come in and punt. Little gamesmanship here between Coach Bennett for Post Falls and Coach Gonzalez for Rigby, and they will take the snap. Anderson going to try and get to the corner. He's got the first down and more across the 45 and ducked out of bounds right at the 50-yard line. Well, they needed a yard, Sean. They end up getting 11.
And it wasn't easy. He had to run out there wide, but that was a nice little run, and I kind of thought, I was going to say you were right. I thought I saw a timeout coming there.
Well, now they mark it back at the 44-yard line, so a 5-yard gain on 4th down. Handoff to Sullivan, and nowhere to go. He's met almost immediately in the backfield. That's Damian Walker, the senior defensive end, and he's a good one.
Nice play there by Walker. Just got right inside, read it, got him in the backfield.
Loss of a yard. Last week, Damian Walker had 2 tackles, 1 for loss, and 1 sack as well. So 2nd and 11 now for Post Falls. Anderson out of the pistol, back to pass, looking for time. Will go deep over the middle. It's intercepted at the 30-yard line. That ball picked up by Trevin Talbot. So Talbot, the safety, comes away with the interception.
And, you know, Rigby lost some big defensive names from last year, and if you had any doubts that this defense was going to be any less tenacious, well, those were just erased the last few plays here.
So with 4:30 to play in the first quarter, 14-0 Rigby, Trevin Talbot ends up intercepting the deep ball from Anderson. That was only his 2nd pass attempt of the night. And Jackson Anderson's got a good arm. Just sailed it just a little bit. If he'd gotten a little more on it, I think the receiver would have been running into the end zone for 6.
That just floated a little too much.
Yeah, a little too much. Adolfo under center, play action fake. Will sling it to the near side, in and out of the hands, incomplete at the 40-yard line. A bullet to Nakeedon Foster, and he can't hang on.
And Rigby kind of just their own worst enemy in the passing game. That's 2 or 3 dropped passes so far.
Well, we talked to the Post Falls coaches and our North Idaho broadcaster, Ryan Skaggs, he had the call of the Post Falls game last week, and he said that was a real big problem for Post Falls. They dropped a lot of passes. So Adolfo on 2nd and 10 will have a very late handoff to Falavai, and Zeke Falavai was met almost immediately by a couple of defenders. Kept the legs going, though, and ends up picking up 9 yards on that run. Awfully impressive. It's now 3rd and 1. Rigby in the hurry up. I formation, quarterback sneak for Adolfo, and he's got the first down. On the tackle for Post Falls was Holden Babowitz, the linebacker. But Adolfo's able to push the pile ahead for a gain of 2 and a first down for the Trojans. 14-0, Rigby leading. And scoring for the Trojans tonight, Riker Kirkham on a 14-yard run, and then a 30-yard pass from Tiger Adolfo to Coleman Lords.
And Rigby's been really balanced. They've had running and passing. I think that's been very key here.
1st and 10. Takes the handoff to Falavai. Adolfo fires. It's in and out of the hands at the 50-yard line. Another drop for the Trojans. And that time on the far side, they were trying to get it into the hands of Sam Coons. He was a former Hillcrest Knight in his first season here at Rigby, and it's now 2nd and 10. It's now 3 drops early in this game for Rigby. Adolfo's got a lot of zip on the ball, that's for sure.
Yeah, the passes have been on target, just not able to hold them down.
2nd and 10. Snap bobbled, and now a rocket thrown at the 45. It's caught, and close to the first down marker is the tight end, Con Dancy, might be a yard shy. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up for Rigby.
And also Post Falls secondary, their defensive backs are playing very well. They're tied up in there. They're not giving a lot of space, and as soon as that ball comes, they're on them and hitting them hard. So, credit to Post Falls secondary right now too.
3 minutes to play in the opening quarter of action. 14-0 Rigby. Adolfo on the run, dumps off into the flat. That's caught by Dancy again on 3rd and 1. Ends up picking up 5 across the 50 to the 47-yard line, and that's enough to move the sticks. You really see the diversity of this Rigby offense, Sean.
Yeah, he's got about 30 people he can throw the ball to, Tiger Adolfo. It seems like it's just, look left, look right. He's able to move, get out of situation, and then he's got someone to throw it to.
1st and 10 for the Trojans. Ball at the Post Falls 47-yard line. Adolfo, play action fake. Looking over the middle, wide open, caught at the 30. That's Coleman Lords again inside the 25 and brought down at the 23. That's a gain of 17 to Coleman Lords and a first down for Rigby.
And Coleman Lords he's running really good routes and getting that space, and he's creating opportunities for Tiger Adolfo to get it to him.
Wide open that time. These Rigby receivers have run really good routes. Just a matter of hanging on to the ball. 1st and 10 for Rigby. Ball is at the 25-yard line of the Trojans, the Post Falls Trojans. Adolfo on a slant route. Coleman Lords again, cuts to the outside, brought down at the 10. That's a 15-yard gain to Coleman Lords. He's been a busy guy tonight. That's his 4th reception of the contest. Will bring up a 1st and 10 for Rigby with the ball at the 11-yard line. And again, Rigby in the hurry-up offense here. Off the right side into the end zone for the touchdown. Rigby. That's Lucas McCullough, the junior. So McCullough scores on the run off the right side from 10 yards out. Well, we'll call it 11 officially. So an 11-yard touchdown run for McCullough to make it 20-0 Rigby, pending the PAT by Uminski. 1:17 to play in our opening quarter. Uminski drills it 21-0 Rigby as McCullough scores on an 11-yard run, followed by the Uminski kick. And with 1:17 to play here in our opening quarter of action, it's now 21-0 Rigby, looking very impressive. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Upper Valley Orthopedics, the Upper Snake River Valley's renowned state-of-the-art orthopedic and sports medicine clinic. Doctors Michael Larson, Kevin Lee, and Travis Torngren are board-certified orthopedic surgeons treating all conditions of the shoulder, elbow, hand and wrist, hip, knee, foot, ankle, and any other sports-related injuries. Please call for an appointment, 208-356-9550, or make a request online at uppervalleyortho.com. Upper Valley Orthopedics in Rexburg is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics. Minsky ready to kick off again here for the Trojans. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, not too bad.
Pretty good, efficient offense there. You're not going to be disappointed. Yeah, you know, I think they're getting what they want from the passing game and just enough runs to keep those Post Falls Trojans honest.
Here's the kick by Uminski, angled towards the sideline, out of bounds. That's a penalty.
About the only mistake Rigby's really made tonight.
Post Falls Trojans will start this drive from their own 35-yard line, looking to turn the tides in a big way in today's game. 21-0, a daunting score, but not quite out of this one yet. If they can turn around here, maybe look at a 7-game after this drive, and maybe get some of that momentum back, they could have a chance. But this is a really crucial drive. Almost seems like they're going to be going for it on 4th down no matter what here. They really need the momentum. Anderson looking to turn around his day after an interception on the last drive. Anderson with the play action, rolls out right, fires.
On the run, that is complete on the far side for Post Falls. Tanner Sessions makes the reception for an 11-yard gain on 1st down for Post Falls.
And then Anderson can really move. He just got out of the pocket quickly.
Hurry up offense again here for the Post Falls Trojans. Anderson will hand off here to Sullivan. Penalty flag comes in, and this one will be coming back.
Let's see what this flag is for. This could be coming back.
3 yards, but there's a penalty on the play.
Looks like the ref are talking this one through.
Holding call.
It's going to be a holding call on Post Falls, so that 1st-yard gain of 3 is going to come right on back.
Holding on Post Falls.
Now that could really take away a lot of momentum that they had from that first play.
Move the ball back too.
But it'll be a 1st and 20 now, right from where they started this drive, their own 35-yard line. We're going to mark that 36-yard line.
So 1st down and about 18 now for Post Falls. Inside a minute to play in our opening quarter of action.
Anderson drops back.
Anderson in the flat. That's caught by Sessions again to the 40-yard line, and a gain of, well, they'll mark him right around the 41. So a 5-yard pitch and catch to Tanner Sessions. Make it 2nd down and about 14 now for Post Falls. And again, the Trojans hurrying up here with 30 seconds to play in our opening quarter of action. Anderson, handoff right side, good block as taking it to the edge and going for the 1st down and more inside the 40. And finally brought down right around the Rigby 38-yard line. That's a huge run by Post Falls' Gentry Smith. So Gentry Smith is able to rumble ahead for a gain of 25.
And Post Falls is wasting no time to get up to the line to hurry. And it works. They pull Rigby off.
Following the big run by Gentry Smith.
So scratch the 1st and 10. It's going to be a 1st and 5 now.
It's now going to be 1st and 5 for Post Falls following the penalty against Rigby. Only 16 seconds to play in our opening quarter of action.
Start chipping away at that deficit. Anderson.
Anderson lines up out of the pistol formation here.
With number 47, Smith, behind him.
Gentry Smith behind him, and now a timeout taken by Rigby. Second timeout of the opening half here, and we're only in the first quarter. 16 seconds to play in our opening quarter of action.
Maybe this is just to take away some of that momentum. Post-Falls Trojans really mounting a lot of momentum here, possibly turning
take that
around
back, ladies
the
and
tide of
gentlemen.
this
It's
game.
actually a timeout called by Rigby.
But we saw this last week. We saw when the Skyview Bobcats got hot, the coaches would meet with their team, meet with their defense, and it would turn around how the defense was playing. We saw this last week, for example, when the first drive of the game was an easy touchdown score for the Skyview Bobcats. But after one film session on the bench from the Rigby Trojans coaches, they were absolutely locking down the Bobcats from that moment on, shutting them out for the next 3.5 quarters. So maybe this could be another stroke of genius from the coaching staff on the Rigby sideline. 16.1 seconds left on the clock. Trojans up 21-0, and the post-fall Trojans come out for this 1st and 5 at
Out of the timeout, 16 seconds to play in the opening quarter, 21-0 Post Falls. Handoff left side, and nowhere to go for Smith that time. And that's how the first quarter will end, with a no-gain carry. And so after a quarter of play, it is Rigby 21, Post Falls nothing. We will be back right after this break here on IdahoSports.com.
Banking. Maybe you enjoy the person-to-person attention you get going to your bank. Maybe you enjoy the convenience of banking from home sweet home. Or maybe you like the flexibility of paying your bills, applying for a loan, or talking to your personal banking person from wherever fits your fancy. Then definitely, you should bank at Mountain West Bank. Member FDIC. The easy, convenient, any way you want to bank.
Welcome back to East Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Sorry about the technical difficulties with the freezing of the video, but we've got it sorted out, Sean, and we're ready to go with the second quarter here. It's 2nd and 5 for Post Falls as we begin our second quarter of action. And again, tough sledding, no gain on that carry.
Yeah, Post Falls gets a little momentum, gets a couple good passes, a couple good things going, and then they just get stuffed right up the middle. But they're still making some positive yards here.
So 3rd down and 4 now. For Post Falls, they'll throw over the middle, and that ball almost intercepted by Rigby. Back there playing defense in center field was Riker Kirkham. So we credited that first touchdown to Kirkham, number 22. But it was actually 32. Lucas McCullough, the backup running back. So he's actually scored 2 touchdowns tonight. In addition, Tiger Adolfo has thrown a 30-yard strike to Coleman Lords. 4th and 4 for Post Falls. Out of the shotgun formation will be Jackson Anderson with 5 wide, 2 to the top of your screen and 3 at the bottom. Can Post Falls pick up the first down here on 4th and 4? Anderson back to pass. Looking left, now will take off and run as he will try and throw. It's intercepted at the 20-yard line. That ball picked off by Rigby. Being mobbed on the sideline and coming away with the interception is Zabe Falavai. So Falavai comes away with the interception, Sean. You know, Jackson Anderson took off and ran. I thought he had enough to pick up the first down on the ground, but at the last moment, he tried to force a throw in, and Zabe Falavai picks it off.
Yeah, I thought Jackson Anderson was going to break that out. He had pretty much an open lane to the first down, but he must have just saw something but it just did not work out. So that's 2 interceptions for Jackson Anderson right now.
Yeah, the first interception was by Trevin Talbot, and now Zabe Falavai, the latest, to come away with a pick. So now here's Rigby off the turnover. It's 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. We flipped the field, so Rigby's now going right to left in our second quarter of action. A little bit of confusion here by Rigby as far as who's supposed to line up where, and the penalty flag will come in because of it.
And they've already used 2 timeouts, Rigby did, in the first quarter already, so.
Yeah, they used that second timeout with 16 seconds to play in that opening quarter when I wasn't sure if Post Falls was going to go for it on 4th down or not. They did. They ended up throwing the interception on the opening play of the second quarter. So now the false start against Rigby makes it 1st and 15 for the Trojans from their own 11-yard line. Adolfo out of a shotgun, 3 receivers to the top of your screen, single receiver to the bottom is the tight end. Adolfo stepping up, now feeling the heat, throws on the run as he was being wrapped up, and it is caught at the 15-yard line. Nice job by Taylor Freeman to look it in.
Yeah, pretty much looked like it was going to go for a sack. He got it just off in time.
Oh, well, now they're going to say, I think, incomplete pass. They're going to call him in the grasp of the defender, essentially. And so a nice job by Post Falls is Chase Berg, that time coming on the safety blitz. Here he comes again, but it's a shovel pass underneath to Zeke Falavai. And Falavai will take it across the 15 up to the 17-yard line. Boy, Chase Berg, 2 times in a row, the safety for Post Falls has come free on the blitz.
Yeah, he was super close that time, and he was not blocked at all.
That ends up being a 7-yard shovel pass to Zeke Falavai, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 now for Rigby from their own 18-yard line with 10:40 to play before halftime, leading 21-0. Adolfo, he's got a man in motion. Fakes on the counter, now throws too high, incomplete. Trying to go to Taylor Freeman over the middle. The pass a touch high, incomplete, 4th down, and we'll see Rigby punt for the first time tonight. So we've definitely seen Adolfo. We've seen the fastball. Have we seen the ability to change up the speed of his throws? Every pass has a lot of zip on it.
Yeah, they're coming in hot and heavy, and sometimes when you have to jump up for those high ones, if they're coming in too hot, it's a tough ask for the receivers.
So Rigby will punt with 10.5 to play here before halftime. That ball is bobbled for a moment, and I'm not sure if that was a designed fake or if that was just a busted play, but ultimately one of the upbacks there, Con Dancy, takes off and runs, and now we have a Post Falls player that's down on the field as well. So after all of that, it ends up being, I don't know, a 3-yard run for Con Dancy, we'll call it. He was in there to protect.
Yeah, it kind of maybe looked like it was a bad snap, but I couldn't quite tell.
And meanwhile, the injured Post Falls player, it's one of their defensive linemen, and so while they attend to him, we will step aside for a quick break and come back in just a moment here on East Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
Back in Rigby on East Idaho game night, Brandon Bainley, Sean Kane, the injured Post Falls player. They're still helping him off the field is Sean St. George, number 73, a senior defensive tackle, and we certainly hope he's okay. He needed a coach and a teammate to help him off the field, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, because of that muffed snap on the punt, Sean, Post Falls has the ball 1st and 10 at the Rigby 18-yard line, their best opportunity of the night so far.
Yeah, great opportunity for Post Falls here.
Anderson out of the pistol over the middle. Wow, what a grab at the 10-yard line. Had to extend all the way out to make the grab for the first down, and that was Tucker. Carson Tucker makes the nice reception for 8 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and 2 now for Post Falls. And he did have to stretch all the way out. Anderson out of the pistol. Will hand off to Gentry off the left side. Will take it inside the 5, down around the 3-yard line. That'll be a gain of 9 on the carry for Gentry Smith. And so Smith takes it for a gain of, actually we'll call it 10. It'll be 1st and goal for Post Falls from the 2. So Post Falls knocking at the door, trying to chip away at this 21-0 deficit with 9:38 to play here before halftime. Anderson out of the pistol. Will run an option play right side, lowering the shoulder and crossing the pylon, crossing the end line into the end zone for the Post Falls touchdown. That's a 2-yard touchdown run for Jackson Anderson. Just lowered the shoulder and muscled his way in for 6. So Post Falls responds. They got great field position off the muffed snap on the punt by Rigby inside their 20. And now it'll be a PAT attempt by Alexander Luna, and Luna's extra point is through the uprights and in. So 21-7 now. Rigby on top of Post Falls. We'll be back right after this break on IdahoSports.com.
Banking. Maybe you enjoy the person-to-person attention you get going to your bank. Maybe you enjoy the convenience of banking from home sweet home. Or maybe you like the flexibility of paying your bills, applying for a loan, or talking to your personal banking person from wherever fits your fancy. Then definitely, you should bank at Mountain West Bank. Member FDIC. The easy, convenient, any way you want to bank.
Welcome back to Hiram C. Blackburn Field in Rigby, East Idaho game night on IdahoSports.com. I'm Brandon Bainey. He's Sean Kane. It's 21-7. Rigby on top of Post Falls here in the Battle of the Trojans. A great 5A non-conference affair. Thanks for being with us. Post Falls just scored their first touchdown of the night on a 2-yard touchdown run by quarterback Jackson Anderson. They got the ball at the Rigby 18-yard line following a muffed snap on a punt attempt.
Yeah, the punt just went bad and gave Post Falls some good field position and an opportunity, and they took full advantage of it.
So here comes the kickoff from Post Falls. This is going to be a squib kick. Bouncer at the 25, fielded on a hop at the 20 by Zabe Falavai. Falavai trying to hurdle a defender and will be brought down around the 27-yard line. So here comes the Rigby offense back on the field, Sean. Last possession was the first time they were forced to punt all night. So for a Post Falls defense that has been on its heels for most of the evening, that's an encouraging sign.
Yeah, it was a nice defensive stance there for Post Falls. They were able to get Rigby in a 3rd down position, and hopefully they can keep up that momentum here defensively. If you get another stop, get some good field position going into halftime with another score, it's a whole new game.
1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 26. Adolfo will hand off to Zeke Falavai looking for the edge. He's got it to the 30 and brought down around the 35-yard line, maybe a yard shy of the first down marker.
Before he's finally taken out of bounds.
Falavai is a pretty patient runner. Let the block develop that time and takes it for 9.
Yeah, when Falavai is running, you kind of initially think, oh, he's going to be stopped, nothing's going to happen. But he kind of just waits and he's patient, and he kind of makes a little more happen out of nothing.
9 9:15 to play before halftime. 2nd and 1. It's going to be an option play. Adolfo will keep it across the 40 and up to the 42-yard line. So they needed a yard. They end up getting about 7 on that carry by Tiger Adolfo, and it's another first down for Rigby.
So the offense of Rigby just kind of back into the gear again here, not really slowing down at all.
Well, after a couple of passes were a little off target, first 2 plays for the Trojans here have been run plays, maybe trying to get back into that rhythm offensively. Adolfo under center this time, offset I formation. Berg coming off the edge on the blitz again. Adolfo back to pass. Now we'll step up and run. Adolfo going to take off, fakes out a defender, a nice juke move as he takes it across the 50 and to the Post Falls 47-yard line. That's a gain of 11 and a first down for Rigby. Put the deke on there in the open field shot.
That was a nice little dance move out there. That was great. He got him moving one way, but he's really good at shifting direction of the field, and the vision, I think, is very key in that too.
1st and 10 for Rigby from the Post Falls 47. Falavai up the middle, first down and more, lowering the shoulder like a battering ram to the 35.
Kind of looks like he just pushed a guy off.
That will be a gain of 12 and another first down for the Trojans. And now you can see Rigby just kind of imposing their will here a little bit.
Yeah, the offensive line of Rigby just really letting them dictate offensively.
1st and 10 from the Post Falls 35. Falavai this time stood up right away. A nice job by Chase Berg to stand him up. And then finishing off the play was Jose Laguna for the Post Falls Trojans. And that is a gain of only a yard on the carry for Zeke Falavai. Boy, Berg has been blitzing a lot off the edge tonight for Post Falls, and that time got the stop. 2nd and 9, and up to McCullough this time off the left side, and McCullough will take it to the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 now for Rigby.
Yeah, like you said, Brandon, they're really running the ball, keeping the ball on the ground right now, Rigby is, and just kind of getting those small, methodical chunks of yards.
3rd and 5 for Rigby. Ball at the Post Falls 30. McCullough gets the call again inside the 25, has the first down. They needed 5, he got 6. Well, now they're going to mark it back, and they'll give him just the 5, but it's still enough for the first down. 6:55 to play before halftime. Rigby leading 21-7. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rigby Trojans with the ball at the Post Falls 25.
Well, you know, if you're Post Falls, you've got to get a stop here. I think you've got to really look to bring the heat in.
Adolfo back to pass, rolling out right side, slings it incomplete. Getting a hand on it defensively was Holden Babowitz for Post Falls. That's what Post Falls really needs, is a takeaway defensively. They've given it away twice. Their defense needs to come up with one.
Yeah, turnover would be huge right now. Rigby kind of, in the scoring position, when they get down inside the 30, you kind of think Rigby's, they're looking to score pretty quickly.
The eyes get wide.
Yes,
right?
yes. The playbook opens up.
2nd and 10 for Rigby from the Post Falls 25. 5 wide here. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Adolfo pump fakes over the middle. Too hot to handle, incomplete. And they were trying to go over the middle to Coleman Lords, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 10.
So again, Post Falls kind of being able to just kind of hold and make a bit of a defensive stand here, like they did in the previous play. You know, it's nice if Post Falls gets a stop here, ball back. Plenty of time before the second quarter, or halftime, excuse me.
The sun's starting to set, but still plenty of heat coming off that howitzer attached to Tiger Adolfo's right shoulder. Back to pass, 3rd and 10, almost sacked. Now we'll step up over the middle and fire. It is caught for the touchdown. What a grab in the end zone by Taylor Freeman. Post Falls nearly had the sack. Zachary Clark nearly had the pick. But it ends up being a touchdown in the end zone, and I'll double check the number. That's actually Sam Coons who makes the touchdown reception.
Wow. I mean, that I believe it hit the Post Falls defender's hand and just went right through it. Just a rocket from Tiger, just right in there.
So a 30-yard rocket, actually a 25-yard score, as the PAT by Uminski is through as well. So 28-7, Rigby, as it's a 25-yard touchdown connection to Sam Coons. So we talked about it. Oh, Post Falls almost got the sack. It was Vernon Pine, the defensive end, who almost wrapped up Tiger Adolfo. And then you talked about it, off of Clark's hands, because that ball was thrown with so much heat on it. Clark had it, deflected, and it was almost like Coons was over the top of Clark and was able to kind of snatch it away.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be intercepted for sure, but it had just enough just to get over it, and Coons, nice vertical. Able just to go up and get that, and nice weapons to have there for Rigby.
He never got to really show those abilities because Hillcrest the past several years under former coach Kevin Meyer just ran the ball almost exclusively. They would pack it in tight with tight ends and wing backs, and so now coming to Rigby where he can really flourish. Here's the kickoff taken by Tanner Sessions at the 10. Good break up the middle. Sessions across the 35 and a great return out to the 37-yard line.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Hillcrest kind of run that offense where you didn't really know who was going to run the ball?
For the encroachment, and instead of 3rd and 5, we've got a fresh set of downs now, Sean.
Yeah, that's positive. We're Post Falls almost on the other side of the field, but I think it was just a nice little hard count and got Rigby bouncing off the line a little bit.
So 1st and 10 for Post Falls. Ball is at their own 47-yard line. We're down to 5:15 to play before halftime. Post Falls will get the ball to start the second half, so this drive could be huge. Gentry Smith blown up in the backfield.
Just was.
That is a loss of 7 on that carry by Gentry Smith. And it's now 2nd down and 16. 4:40 to play here before halftime. And again, that was just the front 3 for Rigby. That time by Rigby's Dusty Wright, along with Logan Fredrickson. That's a name we haven't said much tonight, but Logan Fredrickson, one of the best linebackers in the state this year.
Yeah, he hasn't made a huge play yet, but you can see him moving around, and he's causing a lot of pressure on the quarterback tonight for sure.
He's always in the mix.
Yes, yeah, you can kind of always see him. He's kind of a quarterback, he's kind of hawking him out there.
And off for Sullivan on 2nd and 10. And Sullivan crashes ahead for a gain of a yard to make it 3rd and 9. So Post Falls, you can see they want to run the ball. Having a tough time here tonight as Jacob Sullivan has carried the ball now 8 times for just 20 yards. So 8 carries for 20 yards for Jacob Sullivan. And it's 3rd and 9 now for Post Falls. Anderson out of the pistol, and Rigby spends their 3rd and final timeout here of the opening half of action. 3:52 to go here before halftime. Quitting smoking, chewing, or vaping is tough, but so are you. If you're ready to quit, there's help. Visit projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW today. Project Filter. And don't forget, each week, if you're a Post Falls fan, we've got you covered on the North Idaho Prepcast every week. I'm breaking down the biggest sports stories in District 1 with Ryan Skaggs. He's actually broadcasting the Coeur d'Alene Sandpoint game tonight up north. Audio-only broadcast on IdahoSports.com. That might be the game of the year up north. We'll have to see. The 2 contending teams in the 5A, 4A Inland Empire League. And then if you're a Rigby fan, District 6, we've got the East Idaho Prepcast each week where I sit down with Lance Taylor and we break down the biggest stories happening in Eastern Idaho sports. And that's all on our website, IdahoSports.com, or wherever you download your podcasts. 3rd and 9 for Post Falls out of the timeout. Anderson out of the pistol. Feeling the heat. Reverses back the other way. He's all the way back at his own 40. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Will take off and run. And Shawnee actually picks up about 5 yards on that mad scramble. He took the snap at his own 44-yard line, or at the Rigby 44-yard line. He retreated all the way back to his own 40.
Yeah, he's got some wheels. Jackson Anderson can move, and he went far back, and, that could have been disastrous.
So a 6-yard run for Anderson brings up 4th down and 3 for Post Falls. Ball at the Rigby 36. They'll stay out there and go for it with 3:10 to play before halftime. 4 wide. Anderson out of the pistol. Will take off and run up the middle on the quarterback draw. Is met head on right at the marker. He went mano a mano that time and should have enough for the first down. And coming up to apply the tackle that time for Rigby was Logan Fredrickson. That's not a guy I'd want to take on head on, but
he went for it.
Jackson Anderson showing no fear. Runs for 5 yards in the first down. 1st and 10 for Post Falls, 2:50 to play before halftime. Ball is at the Rigby 32-yard line, and again, Post Falls does get the ball to start the second half. They would love to go 2 for 1 here. Get a score right before halftime, get the second half kickoff, and get another score.
Makes it a whole different game.
It completely changes the complexion of the game. Post Falls 5 wide. Anderson again feeling the heat, will heave it deep. That ball is deflected and almost caught off the carom by Tanner Sessions, but ultimately falls incomplete. Boy, 2 defenders were there for Rigby. Talbot almost had his second interception of the night, and then Sessions almost had a sliding touchdown grab.
Yeah, it looked like for sure he was going to intercept it, but just almost just tipped in, and his ball just floats a little bit. Anderson's ball just, if it didn't float just like a hair less, he might have had a couple touchdown passes tonight.
2nd and 10 for Post Falls. Handoff to Sullivan. Has a little room to run. Will take it inside the 35 and down around the 32. So nice run for Jacob Sullivan. A gain of 5, we'll call it. It's 3rd and 5.
And Sullivan doesn't look like that typical just run downhill running back, but he does a really good job at it.
When he can get to the second level, you're right.
Yeah.
It's pretty effective. 3rd and 5. Post Falls out of the pistol, and the penalty flag flies. False start on the Trojans. Instead of 3rd and 5, it's now 3rd and 10. That hurts with 1:54 to go here before halftime.
Yeah, you just kind of had a little momentum. You're kind of working hard to pick up those yards, and that just kind of sets you back.
Stopping this. He comes down to that impressive, also chaos that they create in the backfield, and then the very lockdown secondary.
Second quarter here, we're down to 1:33 to play before halftime, despite what the score bug told you. Just now got that updated. Anderson sandwiches that ball live. It is. They will. Well, now they're going to say incomplete. I was going to say that looked like a forward pass. So Anderson was sandwiched between 2 Rigby defenders, just threw the ball where he could. Sullivan, made a good effort on it.
Yeah, it didn't really go forward. It went sideways because he got hit, like you said, sandwiched.
But I believe the correct call there on the incomplete pass, and now 4th and 10 for Post Falls. And what do the Post Falls Trojans do here?
Well,
now they want some clarification, because I'm not sure. Now they're going to call a timeout to talk about it. So 1:24 to go before halftime. 4th and 10 for Post Falls. A big decision coming up here. The halftime show headed your way in 1:24 of game time. We'll update you on some halftime scores maybe from other games of interest tonight. The Friday Night Flash is back, Sean. That is our live, real-time, statewide football scoreboard. Our intern, Keller Sherman, has been doing a fantastic job of updating all of these games that are in progress. And we actually have a score hotline. If you are at a game somewhere and you want to
call in the right score.
Yeah, if you want to, if you want to text in the score from where you're at, it's super easy to do. And that number is 208-639-9072. That's 208-639-9072.
Yeah, just a great way to get all the scores from all over Idaho in one place just quickly. So I think, Post Falls got to go for it, I think, at this point on this side of the field, Brandon.
1:24 to go before halftime. 4th and 10 for Post Falls. What do they call here? Anderson out of the pistol. Back to pass, feeling the heat. Steps up, will take off and run, and will take it to about the 30-yard line. Only picks up 3 yards on that rush, and so Post Falls will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, the pocket just collapsed very quickly. He was lucky to get out of it without being sacked for a loss, so at least they got some positive yards and moved Rigby back, hopefully enough to keep him out of the end zone before halftime. But, Rigby's offense can really put it together quickly.
So 1:17 to go before halftime, and Rigby with no timeouts remaining. That doesn't mean anything, though. They can cover 70 yards pretty quickly.
They
Anderson out of the pistol, going to heave it deep to the end zone, looking for the kill shot, overshot him, incomplete. They were trying to go to Dalton Wild in the near corner of the end zone, but just a little too much on the pass. I like that idea, though, Sean. A lot of coaches will do that. Following a turnover, you go for the home run.
Yeah, you go for that fly pattern just on that first down and just try to catch him off guard a little bit.
So 1:05 to go before halftime. 2nd and 10. Anderson, handoff to Sullivan up the middle. And Sullivan takes it inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line.
And Sullivan's a good runner. I just like his vision of how he gets down and gets in those holes. But Rigby does a really good job of just on that second-tier line of defense of sniffing out the running back.
6-yard gain for Sullivan, 3rd and 4 now. We're down to 40 seconds to play here before halftime. And Post Falls going to let the clock bleed here because they don't want to, on 3rd down, give the ball back to Post Falls, but to Rigby. But Rigby's out of timeouts,
so pretty much bring us to halftime.
It shouldn't matter too much. Post Falls still has 2 timeouts remaining as well. Anderson will take the snap. Going to take a shot to the end zone. It is bobbled and incomplete.
Just in and out of the hands.
They were trying to go up top to Carson Tucker. And Tucker had it, lost it, incomplete, 4th down. And now with 16 seconds to go before halftime, you might as well take another shot at it.
Yeah, I think that's why it was the Post Falls was kind of letting the time run down just so they would have 2 shots at the end zone.
And I mean, you don't even have to go to the end zone, Sean. They have 2 timeouts left. You can go for something over the middle and take a timeout. You still have 16 seconds to play before halftime.
Yeah, they've got some options.
Anderson out of a pistol. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Back to pass over the middle. It is thrown a little bit behind Tanner Sessions and incomplete. Boy, Sessions was open, but the throw just a touch behind him, and Post Falls turns it over on downs.
Yeah, I mean, if that ball's in front of Sessions, he's maybe going all the way to the house.
So Post Falls gives it back to Rigby with 11 seconds to play here before halftime.
But no timeouts, like you said, so.
Yeah, it looks like Rigby's just going to kneel on it here following the fumble by Tiger Adolfo on the last possession. So they'll kneel it down, and we'll go to halftime with Rigby on top of Post Falls, 28-7. Well, pretty good first half. Rigby obviously flexing their muscles offensively, and Post Falls kind of like what we saw in the season opener against Sandpoint. They've had their chances, but they're just
yeah,
missing.
You can see glimpses, and they're there, and they've made some good defensive stops, and the offense just is almost there and just not quite getting it. Like that touchdown pass there was just in and out of the hands of the receiver for Post Falls.
So it is halftime. Rigby on top of Post Falls, 28-7. We will be back with the halftime show here on East Idaho Game Night right after this break. You're watching IdahoSports.com.
It's time to start planning for back to school. That's why I got my kids vaccinated for COVID-19, so they can be protected from COVID when they're back in the classroom. Kids 12 and older can get vaccinated. The vaccines have been researched and tested. They're safe and they work. Getting vaccinated was quick and easy. You can walk into a pharmacy to get one. We got our COVID-19 vaccine, and I hope everyone will choose to get vaccinated too.
Get a free COVID-19 vaccine today. Find a location near you at covidvaccine.idaho.gov.
Lead the charge into a brighter future with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen ID4. With an EPA estimated range of 250 miles, the ID4 knows how to go the distance. It's an electric SUV that's as fun to drive as it is stylish and functional. You don't have to sacrifice good looks for great performance. So stop by our dealership today and jumpstart your year with the Volkswagen ID4. Teton Volkswagen, where it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicle.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, it was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
We're Valleywide Country Store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valleywide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Scott here from Teton Honda in Pocatello. Our dealership operates on a no-problem philosophy that's designed to put you in charge of your next vehicle purchase. Prefer to shop online? No problem. Evenings or weekends? No problem. Need a wide range of financing and leasing options? No problem. So whether it's one of our beautiful new Hondas or just a vehicle that's new to you, at Teton Honda, we'll help you find the perfect vehicle for your needs. Experience car buying like never before at Pocatello's only No Problem dealership.
Welcome back to East Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Baney alongside Sean Kane, and here at the halftime break, it is the Rigby Trojans on top of the Post Falls Trojans, 28-7. The Rigby offense as good as advertised.
Yeah, the Rigby offense just came out in full force with Tiger Adolfo and just running and passing the ball, doing it on both, just doing it both. He's really kind of leading the offense. Some big passes for touchdowns. He had a 30-yard pass to Lords, a 14-yard run to start him off, right?
Yep.
And then another pass. I believe it was only 9-1, but yeah, Tiger Adolfo has been all over the field. But then the second quarter, the Rigby offense got a little slowed down, had a turnover, and Post Falls had some opportunities.
Yeah, so Rigby scored on its first 3 possessions of the night, a 14-yard touchdown run by Lucas McCullough, that 30-yard touchdown pass from Tiger Adolfo to Coleman Lords, and then an 11-yard touchdown run by McCullough. And it was 21-0 Rigby at the end of the first quarter. Post Falls had a promising drive thwarted by a Talbot interception as Trevin Talbot picked off the pass. And as you mentioned in that second quarter, Rigby kind of bogged down a little bit. They did get another takeaway as Zabe Falavai picked off a Jackson Anderson pass. And that led to the 2-yard touchdown run by Post Falls, because Rigby on their next possession following that Zabe Falavai interception on 4th down tried to punt. It was the bad snap, and Post Falls had it 1st and 10 at the Rigby 18-yard line. And with that great field position, they were able to march down and score on the 2-yard run by Jackson Anderson. That made it 21-7 Rigby. But then the Rigby Trojans found the momentum again. Tiger Adolfo, the 25-yard touchdown pass to Coons to make it 28-7.
Yeah, it was the bullet cross body. Looked like Post Falls had a hand on it, just went just above his fingertips, out of reach, and Coons with a great grab for a touchdown. And that's where it's gotten us to now. Post Falls does get the ball back out at halftime, so they're going to have to look for some offensive momentum for sure. Jackson Anderson's been leading them at quarterback, running and passing, and also Jacob Sullivan at running back has had a bunch of carries, but probably not as many yards as Post Falls would like.
Right, so these are the unofficial halftime statistics here, as maybe off by a couple yards or two. I'm not the greatest mathematician in the world, but I feel pretty confident we're close. So in the first half for the Rigby Trojans, they had 141 yards rushing, 173 yards passing, 269 yards of total offense. Actually, let me double check that. 314 yards of total offense in that opening half. And as we talked about, Sean, pretty good balance. Tiger Adolfo, 10 of 18 in the first half for 173 yards and the touchdown. The leading rusher in the opening half was also Tiger Adolfo, 6 carries for 53 yards. He did have that fumble right before halftime. Zeke Falavai has 7 carries for 50 yards. It's Lucas McCullough with 4 carries for 35 yards and both touchdowns on the ground. And then Con Dancy, 1 carry for 3 yards on that busted snap on the punt. Receiving-wise for Rigby, Coleman Lords leads the way, 4 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. Sam Coons has 2 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. It is Zeke Falavai, 2 catches for 28 yards. Con Dancy, 2 catches for 13 yards. And Taylor Freeman, surprisingly, 1 catch for 6 yards. Zachary Clark has held him in check tonight. The problem is everybody else from Rigby has been getting over.
Yeah, the other options have not went away. That's been the great thing. Rigby has a lot of mouths to feed, and Tiger Adolfo is feeding them tonight for sure. Freeman and Clark, that's a great matchup. Freeman had I believe a couple drops too there, but there's just been other options and they found him.
So for Post Falls in the opening half, 88 yards on the ground for Post Falls. Only 45 yards through the air, though, so that's a total of 133 yards of total offense compared to Rigby's 314. Jackson Anderson in the first half, 5 of 12 passing for 45 yards, and the 2 interceptions that really hurt, one by Zabe Falavai, one by Trevin Talbot. Leading rusher so far for Post Falls is actually Gentry Smith, 5 carries for 34 yards. Sullivan has 10 carries for 28 yards. And Jackson Anderson, 6 carries for 26 yards and the touchdown. Receiving-wise for Post Falls, again, we mentioned only 5 completed passes. It is Tanner Sessions, 2 catches for 16 yards. It's Carson Tucker, 2 catches for 13 yards, and Dalton Wild has 1 catch for 16 yards. So we talked about with Post Falls, the pass rush for Rigby defensively has been fierce tonight, which has caused Jackson Anderson to throw a little earlier than he wants to, which has led to a couple of interceptions. That second one in particular, it was on a 4th down play where he was scrambling and looked like he had enough to run for the first down. At the last moment, he decided to throw it into traffic, and Falabai intercepted it. But it all starts with that pass rush making life uncomfortable for Post Falls in the passing game.
Yeah, Jackson Anderson has not been able just to sit there and throw the ball. He's had to be on the move almost immediately and quickly. The Rigby defensive line just gets in there so quick, so fast. But Jackson Anderson's also, he had a couple there. He had one play in the second quarter where he ran it back almost, 15, 20 yards, brought it back, still got 5 positive yards on that run. So Jackson Anderson is he's moving around, but the pressure's on him, and I think that, that pressure is really what caused those 2 interceptions early on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and update you on some of the scores that are going on statewide tonight at the 5A level. Let's start let's start in the Inland Empire League, but we have no score yet between Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene. That game just kicked off a little less than 20 minutes ago. You have to remember, in the Pacific time zone, they're an hour behind us. So all the folks that are watching from Post Falls tonight, thanks for doing so. It's 8:30 where we are, only 7:30 where they're at. So Coeur d'Alene playing Sandpoint tonight. The audio broadcast of that game is available on IdahoSports.com. Ryan Skaggs has all of your play-by-play action for that one. Lake City was supposed to play. Their game got canceled because of, I believe it was COVID-19. They were playing an out-of-state opponent. And then the other game is tomorrow. Lewiston will host Madison. Another Eastern Idaho, Northern Idaho matchup. That game will be at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in Lewiston, and we will have that game for you. Video coverage on IdahoSports.com. Garrison Hardy and Jason Hansen will have the call there. So not much to report from up north in the Inland Empire League yet. For the High Country Conference, Districts 5 and 6, though, a lot of activity to report, including the Highland Rams traveling to Logan, Utah, and leading the Grizzlies at halftime 34-0. So Highland, the offense has struggled a little bit early on, right, for the Rams. They lost that 12-7 game to Rocky Mountain, only put up 26 points last week against Alta, up 34-0 at halftime. The Rams looked like they figured it out. The other surprising score, Sean, at halftime, it is Idaho Falls playing Blackfoot and leading 21-14 at the half. The Tigers weren't very heralded coming into the season. Blackfoot, one of the favorites at the 4A level, and it's Idaho Falls with a 21-14 lead at halftime in that matchup. And then the other big contest is Thunder Ridge playing Skyline, and at halftime it is Skyline leading Thunder Ridge 19-12. So a couple of good games in the High Country Conference tonight, and a couple of longer decisions in terms of Highland and Rigby.
Yeah. Also, another update. It was Century in Bonneville, and that was 13-13 at halftime. So
yeah,
another close one there.
For sure. And yeah, I guess if we look at the 5A as a state, the SIC, a lot of action tonight as well in the Treasure Valley. At halftime, Bishop Kelly leading Bora 19-0. Or actually, that's in the first quarter. Bishop Kelly leading Bora 19-0. At halftime, the Boise Brave lead Caldwell 34-7. It's great to see for Coach Mike Altieri and the Boise Brave. At halftime, Eagle leads Cuna 35-0, so the Cavemen getting shut out. Another shutout at halftime, Meridian shutting out Centennial at halftime 28-0. It is Capital leading Owyhee in the second quarter 35-7, and the big game that everybody's got their eye on, Rocky Mountain at Mountain View. At halftime, the Mavericks lead 26-13.
That's kind of surprising, right?
Hey, I'll admit, when I was picking the games earlier today, I picked Rocky Mountain to win that game, so that's probably going to be one that I take as a loss.
The good news is I didn't put my picks in, so I can't win or lose,
Yeah,
right?
Naughty Sean. So, yes, this is one of our great features that is back at IdahoSports.com, our Gridiron Game Picks. You can compete against each other and against us, the IdahoSports.com broadcasters, every single week. It's right at the top of the homepage on IdahoSports.com. The Gridiron Game Picks. All you have to do is register with a profile. Takes 10 seconds. It's super easy. Doesn't cost anything to play. It's totally free. And basically, you pick the winner in every single football game in the state of Idaho in that particular week. And once the week is over, whoever has the most games picked correctly wins $25.
Not bad. I also do it for state basketball, too, and that's pretty fun there, too. I've never lost. Wink.
Yeah, right. And it's also, if you don't win the money, you still have the chance to say you're smarter than the so-called expert broadcasters like you.
Or your friend, too. That's always good.
Yeah.
Go against some competition.
Little smack talk going. So that's on the homepage. It closes every Friday at 7 o'clock. So if you missed the cutoff for this week, don't worry. We'll be back with it next week, the Gridiron Game Picks on IdahoSports.com. And all those scores I just gave you, Sean, was courtesy of the Friday Night Flash. That is back and better than ever. Our intern, Keller Sherman, is watching the scores like a hawk. He is all over it, updating every game across the state of Idaho in real time. We are giving you halftime updates, first quarter updates. That's right, a live, in progress, continuously morphing statewide football scoreboard. And again, a friendly reminder, if you have a score, you're out at, like, let's say you're in Wallace or you're in St. Mary's.
Weezer.
Wherever. You're watching the game and you want to pass along the score, we now have a hotline number that you can text your score updates to. And that number for the Friday Night Flash is 208-639-9072. The Friday Night Flash is back. And it looks like we do have an update from that Coeur d'Alene Sandpoint ball game. The Vikings lead in the second quarter 13-0 over Sandpoint. So we talked about on the North Idaho Prepcast this week, our weekly podcast dedicated to District 1 athletics. Ryan Skaggs and I talked about how it could be the game of the year up north in the Inland Empire League. The favorite from the 4A, Sandpoint, against the favorite from the 5A, Coeur d'Alene, and so far living up to the hype.
Yeah, around 4A, a lot of people are very high on Sandpoint, and, Coeur d'Alene's there every year.
Well, Post Falls found out the hard way last week how good Sandpoint is as they fell to the Bulldogs 35-7. That ball into the end zone for a touchback. So we talked about it. It is Post Falls starting with the ball here in the third quarter. And again, Sean, we talk about it's not a must-score possession, but it would definitely be nice if they could get some points here.
Yeah, they just can't leave opportunities. At the end of the second quarter, I felt like Post Falls had some opportunities they left out there. If the opportunities arise here, I think they've definitely got to look to score. At least have a good drive here just to start it out. And, the offense had gotten some momentum going forward.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for Post Falls from their own 20. Moving left to right here in our second half of action, wearing the white road jerseys with those black and orange helmets that always look so sharp. Rigby in the home grays. Hand off to Jacob Sullivan on first down, and he is met immediately. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, not more than that. As Rigby again showing relentless pursuit from the front 7, and that was Hunter Kneeled in on the stop for the Trojans. So no gain on the carry for Sullivan. 2nd and 10 now for Post Falls. Post Falls trailing 28-7. Anderson, handoff to Sullivan again. A nice shift, and we'll take it to the 25 for a pickup of 5. So we talked about, Jacob Sullivan a good running back. We like what he brings to the table. It's just getting past that initial surge of defenders.
Yeah, if he can get just one little step, he gets positive yards. But Rigby's really good with almost just like gang tackling him. They get 3 or 4 guys in there just to hold him back.
3rd and 5. Anderson has time over the middle, too high, incomplete. Trying to go to Carson Tucker over the middle. Shot it too high, 4th down. Post Falls will punt here. Back to punt for the Post Falls Trojans. As they line up in punt formation here, and it's Zabe Falavai back deep to return for Rigby. He stands at his own 30-yard line.
He's gotten some pretty good kickoff returns so far, or the kickoff return tonight.
Younger brother of running back Zeke Falavai, but he makes his bones on the defensive side of the ball. That ball was partially blocked as it came out, and Post Falls has to fall on it around the 37-yard line. So I didn't see who came in and got a hand on that punt, Sean, but even on punts, the pass rush relentless.
It was just so quick. They couldn't get that punt off, and now that's going to give Rigby some good field position to start the second half.
Yeah, I'll admit my eyes drifted downfield to Zabe Falavai, and all of a sudden the ball was about 20 yards away from where Falavai was.
Yeah, it was the ball went, but it did not go far. It went up high, but I kind of lost it too there.
Yeah, tipped at the line by Rigby, and so now it's 1st and 10 for Rigby with the ball at the Post Falls 38-yard line already. On Post Falls' side of the 50, in great position. Hard count by Adolfo. Post Falls nearly jumped. Zeke Falavai cuts back to the 30 and takes it right around the 25-yard line. Zeke Falavai. That's a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
A lot of room for the running back number 6, Zeke Falavai, on that play, and that really highlights one of the great strengths of the Rigby Trojans team. It is that
So Falavai picking up right where he left off with 10:28 to go here. In the 3rd quarter, Rigby leading 28-7, trying to get another score here. Here comes Post Falls on the blitz. Falavai going to take it up the middle, and despite Post Falls sending 8 guys into the action that time, Falavai is still able to pick up 6.
And Falavai is really good. He just waits. He's almost just kind of pushing the offensive guy where he wants him to block. Kind of just hiding back there and pushes him, and then he pushes forward for that second effort.
10 minutes to play in the 3rd. Rigby up 3 scores, looking to go up 4. Adolfo, handoff again to Falavai up the middle. Takes it across the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. Awfully close to 1st down yardage. It'll be a gain of 4. And now it is 3rd and 1 for Rigby with the ball at the Post Falls 16-yard line. Got to get to the 15 to pick up the 1st down. It's actually like 3rd and inches.
Yeah, it's real close. And Rigby kind of going back to that run like they were doing in the 2nd quarter, just a heavy run.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback sneak here by Adolfo. Instead, it'll be a deep handoff to McCullough. McCullough breaking to the outside inside the 10. Will take it down to the 8-yard line. Shows what I know.
Well, McCullough came out of nowhere, just speedy, bounced off one, maybe tackle to break that thing outside.
On 3rd and inches, McCullough takes it for a gain of 8, and it's now 1st and goal for Rigby with the ball at the Post Falls 8-yard line. 9:09 to play in the 3rd. Adolfo out of a shotgun here. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. He's looking to the bottom, throws too high, incomplete. They were trying to go to Freeman again, but Clark was there with the coverage defensively. And that ball was thrown too high anyways.
Yeah, it was too high, and Clark was there. Clark you can see why he led the state in interceptions for sure.
Well, last year, a lot of people would say the best defensive back in 5A was Peyton Van Steenkist from Rigby.
We saw him make some plays as well last year for sure.
Yeah, and I think Zachary Clark from Post Falls ready to take that title in 2021. Up the middle, this is Falavai inside the 5, and he's going to be just shy of the end zone. They tried to push the pile, and now they'll call it a touchdown. Wow, a late call as Zeke Falavai scores from 8 yards out. Well, now I think that was actually McCullough on the run. It was. So McCullough, for the third time tonight, finds the end zone.
McCullough it seemed like forever, and then they called touchdown, a very long delay, but did not stop a lot of go and just pushed in.
So an 8-yard touchdown run for Lucas McCullough. And the PAT by Uminski is through, and it's 35-7. Rigby rolling in this one over Post Falls with 8:52 to play here in the third quarter. 35-7. Rigby looking strong. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Knutson Chevrolet. In the market for a new Chevrolet or a pre-owned, you'll find it at Knutson Chevrolet in Post Falls. Browse their selection online at Knutson.com or visit their showroom at 1900 East Polston Avenue in Post Falls. Knutson Chevrolet, where friends have made friends since 1939. Knutson Chevrolet for all your automotive needs and proud supporters of North Idaho Athletics. Find new roads. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Upper Valley Ortho, the Upper Snake River Valley's renowned state-of-the-art orthopedic and sports medicine clinic. Doctors Michael Larson, Kevin Lee, and Travis Torngren are board-certified orthopedic surgeons treating all conditions of the shoulder, elbow, hand and wrist, hip, knee, foot, ankle, and other sports-related injuries. Call for an appointment 208-356-9550 or make a request online at uppervalleyortho.com. Upper Valley Orthopedics in Rexburg is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics. So Forrest Uminski ready to kick off again here for Rigby as the Trojans now lead 35-7. Every possession from here on out is going to be a must score for Post Falls as that one is boomed through the back of the end zone. Boy, Uminski's got a leg, Sean.
He does. I was just thinking that on the extra point, that would have been good from about 40 yards, and then he's hitting the last two kickoffs into the end zone. And, yeah, that's sometimes in high school football, the kickers, aren't the best. But, man, he's got a leg on him here in Rigby.
Think about when Rigby plays Highland later this year, the duel of kickers there, Ian Hershey
for
Highland and Uminski for Rigby. That could be a duel.
With those two top defenses in the state, yeah, it could be a soccer-type score.
And guess what? We'll be here to broadcast that on IdahoSports.com. That'll be in Rigby in October. 1st and 10 for Post Falls. Hand off to Jacob Sullivan, and again, it has been tough sledding tonight for the Post Falls run game as Sullivan takes it for a yard.
Just no room there. The offensive line just not getting a good shift there, and you just got to credit Rigby. They're just getting in there tight, and they're staying their assignments, and they close the hole down quickly.
2nd and 9, Anderson out of the pistol, 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Single receiver up top is Sessions. Anderson ready, will take the snap, back to pass. Looking over the middle, will fire that direction, overshot everybody, incomplete. I was looking for Carson Tucker, but threw it about 10 yards over everybody, 3rd down.
Little inaccurate, just not quite on target, but Tucker's a big receiver there. He's been looking for him tonight.
And that's where the pass rush again is impacting Anderson in the pocket. It was a clean pocket that time, but you get kind of jittery after you've been under so much duress all night.
That was about the longest. I feel like that was the longest he had to throw all night.
Yeah, plenty of time. And again, just felt antsy because, every time he's been back to pass, it's been heavy pressure. So 3rd and 9 now for Post Falls. They've got to get to the 30 to pick up the 1st down. Anderson backpedaling, fires too high, incomplete. Off the hands of Tucker again. They were trying to go to Carson Tucker on a crossing route, and a touch high.
Yeah, he had his receiver. Anderson had his receiver just a little too high and maybe just a little too hard.
And I don't know, even if Tucker makes that grab, Sean,
he's short.
It's about 5 yards away from the 1st down marker. Now, maybe he gets there in a foot race, but it's been tough sledding tonight for Post Falls. They'll punt it away. Zabe Falavai back deep to return. Here comes the pressure again. Good punt this time. Falavai will let it hop, and now we'll let it roll, and it will be downed at the Rigby 36-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Rigby Trojans. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Super One Foods. At Super One Foods, compromise is not an option. They set the standard. Number one, they have lower prices, and number two, they make your dollar stretch further. Visit any Super One Foods in Rathdrum, Hayden, Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Sandpoint, or Bonners Ferry, and you'll see they set the standard. Everyone at Super One Foods wants to wish the boys good luck in tonight's game. You know, there's Super One Foods as well in Montana, my home state, including my hometown, Stevensville, Montana. That's the grocery store that all the locals go to, Super One Foods. So I can personally vouch for the quality.
Nice.
1st and 10 for Rigby. 2 backs along with Tiger Adolfo in the backfield. Feeling the heat. Down he goes. Back inside the 30. Good pass rush that time, and that's Trevor Miller on the sack for Post Falls. Big number 99 coming in there with the sack.
And Post Falls has been bringing the pressure tonight, just not quite able to get it every time, but right there, nice defense.
That's a 6-yard loss on the sack that time. And again, I don't know, Rigby maybe seemed not sure of what the play was because there was a little confusion in the backfield. And regardless, 2nd down and 16 now. And again, multiple backs in the backfield with Tiger Adolfo. Play action fake, gonna sling it. That's caught at the 40-yard line. And about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, just shy of the 45-yard line is Taylor Freeman. That is his 2nd reception of the night. And it ends up going for 14 yards.
Kind of a quiet night from Freeman, but, you know, everyone else has been showing up for Rigby as well. So definitely a nice connection there from Tiger to Freeman.
So 3rd and 2 now for Rigby. Got to get to the 46 to pick up the first down. Hard count. Post Falls jumped, and Rigby will get the first down. That hurts, man, because you had the possibility of stopping Rigby. Now it was 3rd and 2, so it would have been hard, but now you guarantee him a first down.
You had a nice sack to start the drive, and you had held him, and it just hurts.
So fresh set of downs for Rigby following the encroachment penalty against Post Falls. It'll be 1st and 10 for, I keep wanting to say the Trojans, but they're both the Trojans, so I'm really struggling with that tonight.
Well, you wouldn't be wrong.
That's true. It's like a bad Abbott and Costello bit. 1st and 10 for the Rigby Trojans. Adolfo going to fire into the flat, and that could be a game breaker. That will be a touchdown for the Trojans. Wow! Turning on the Jets for a 51-yard touchdown reception. Taking it in the end zone for 6 for the Rigby Trojans. That's Nakeedon Foster. Actually, Taylor Freeman, beg your pardon. 13 and 14. They look very similar, and wow. We talked about how they kept Freeman bottled up tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious, right? If I say Freeman's had a quiet night, of course he's going to bust out, a 70-yard touchdown?
Yeah, 51-yard touchdown connection from Adolfo.
And it was
Freeman.
It was just a nice run after the catch by Freeman, too. Post Falls had an opportunity to tackle him, and he just created some separation with a stiff arm and took it all the way home.
42-7. Rigby really starting to flex their muscles here. 51-yard touchdown from Tiger Adolfo to Taylor Freeman. Speaking of Taylor, tonight's game brought to you in part by Taylor Chevrolet. Proud to support Rigby Athletics, Taylor Chevrolet has been serving the Upper Valley for over 90 years with excellent service and a stellar sales team. Taylor Chevrolet is the home of oil changes for life. That's right. Buy any new or used vehicle and never worry about your oil again. Taylor Chevrolet is your Southeast Idaho auto leader with a wide selection of Chevrolet, Buick, and Cadillac models. Come in today and get the vehicle you want with oil changes for life. Stop by their Rexburg location or visit their website at TaylorChev.com. The first 3 cars I ever drove, Sean, were Buick LeSabres. 1988 Buick LeSabre, 1991 Buick LeSabre, 2001 Buick LeSabre. They're the back of the end zone for the touchback. And while Post Falls has been driving the Buicks tonight,
Yeah.
Rigby's been in the Cadillac.
Or the Mercedes-Benz, yeah.
Yeah,
you know, Buick's a reliable car. I don't think we should say it's bad.
No, that's what I'm saying is Post Falls fundamentally is there. But,
Okay.
But Rigby's got the flash. They've got that playmaking ability, and Post Falls just hasn't been able to take the top off the defense yet.
Nope. And when you kept saying Buick cars, I just kept thinking cop cars. I was going to ask if you were a police officer, but I don't think that's the right Buick. That was the
Crown Vic.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
So 1st and 10 for Post Falls from their own 20 following the touchback by Uminski. Anderson will line up in a pistol with 4 wide. Sessions the man in motion. Anderson looking his way. That is caught by Sessions, and will take it up to the 25-yard line for a 5-yard gain. We'll call it a 5-yard gain. First completed pass in the second half for Post Falls as well at the 5:30 mark here of this third quarter.
And that might be a good play for Post Falls, is those quick little passes out wide, because running up the middle has just been tough.
2nd and 5. They'll fire it in the flat to Dalton Wild, and that was awfully close to a horse collar tackle out on the perimeter by Griffin Good, the junior. And it'll be a gain of only a yard on the pass to Wild. So 3rd and 4 now for Post Falls. Can they pick up the first down? They've got to get to the 30 to do it. Trailing 42-7. Anderson out of the pistol. 3 receivers to the top. Anderson looking that way. Will throw. That's caught by the tight end Myers. His first catch of the night. Takes it up to the 32-yard line. A 6-yard gain and a first down. So Devin Myers, the tight end, makes his first grab of the night, and Post Falls moves the sticks. 1st and 10 now for the Post Falls Trojans. 5 minutes and counting in the third. Down 42-7. Sullivan gets the call again, and we'll move it up to the 35-yard line. So a gain of 3 on that carry to make it 2nd and 7.
So Post Falls moving the ball here a little bit, just kind of those quick out routes, just getting a little pass and then back to Sullivan.
2nd and 7, Anderson out of the pistol here, and at this point for Post Falls down 42-7 late in the third. You're just looking for that consistency, some positive things you can build on going into next week's matchup. 2nd and 7, Sullivan on the call again, and we'll take it to the 38-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and actually it was 3rd down, and now it'll be, let's see, 3rd down and 3 we'll call it. So 3rd and 3, Post Falls trying to pick up that first down again. Anderson's got Myers, the tight end, in motion. He's in the slot on the top of your screen now. We'll see if they maybe try and throw a quick pass in the flat to Myers again. That's what they did on the last 3rd and short. Anderson looking in the flat. Now we'll go over the middle. That's caught by Dalton Wild up to the 50-yard line. And Wild takes it to the Rigby 49, and that is enough to move the sticks. That is a gain of 12.
That's a great catch by Wild. It's just kind of high and tight, and he just grabbed it and pulled it in.
Yeah, 2 defenders were there, so that was a tight window to throw into, and Jackson Anderson got it. 1st and 10 with the ball right at the 50-yard line with 3:20 to play in the third. Anderson out of the pistol, 3 receivers to the top of your screen, single receiver to the bottom. They'll hand off. This is Sullivan again, wrapped up in the backfield. That was big Damian Walker coming up to make the stop for Rigby.
Just nowhere to go for Sullivan. And at this point, you know, I think Post Falls is trying to get those kinks worked out of the offense and keep working on things for next week.
2nd and 12. Anderson flushed out, rolling out left side on the run, heaves it downfield. It is caught at the 30-yard line. What a reception by Post Falls. That was Carson Tucker. So they're able to take it from the 48-yard line all the way down to the 28. And that is a gain of 20 to Tucker. And Post Falls now working quickly. Anderson, 1st and 10, fires to the end zone. It is caught in stride for the Post Falls touchdown. That's Carson Tucker again. That's a 27-yard touchdown connection from Jackson Anderson to Carson Tucker. We've been waiting to see that tonight, Sean, and Post Falls finally gets one over the top.
Yeah, they've been trying to get it to Tucker, Carson Tucker, and that was just a nice pass, just smooth. And, once Post Falls kind of got into a rhythm there, the passes seemed to be on target, a little more fluid offense.
PAT try here for Rigby. That's Alexander Luna who boots it through to make it 42-14 now. So there, we talked about it. Anderson able to fling the 27-yard pass to Tucker. And Luna with the kick.
And the pass before to Tucker was, about 20 yards? And I was about to say that was about the biggest play they had tonight, and then they just one-upped it with the 26-yard pass to Tucker.
So with last year's Post Falls team down 42-7, that's not a big deal. They were able to score and score quickly. This year's team has had to grind it out a little bit more. Maybe we see flashes there, and maybe Post Falls says, hey, we're not quite done yet. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Madison Memorial, Madison Orthopedics. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs from time to time. Curveballs like carpal tunnel or tendinitis or trigger finger. Curveballs like knee or hip problems. At Madison Orthopedics, right in Rexburg, they specialize in taking care of issues exactly like these. And they do it in the least intrusive, most effective way possible. It's amazing to see. Give Madison Orthopedics a call today, 208-359-6781, to see what they can do for you. What can Zabe Falavai do on this return for Rigby? Actually, on the return that time for the Trojans was Lucas McCullough. He's been all over the place tonight, and McCullough takes it up to the 25-yard line.
Nice open field tackle by Post Falls to cover him up. He got down quickly and that was a great tackle.
Good coverage downfield tonight by Post Falls. They've had a couple. Tanner Sessions has had a couple of big pops as one of the gunners downfield. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Rigby Trojans. How do they respond after giving up the long touchdown pass here? They're up 42-14 with 2:32 to play here in the third.
I was about to say they're going to run the ball, but
they didn't have anybody back there, and now Falavai's back there with Tiger Adolfo, and Falavai will get the call. Nowhere to go. Chase Berg blew it up in the backfield. He's come on that safety blitz a couple of times tonight, and that time he caught Falavai. And, boy, wow, with that extra effort, they're going to say Falavai got a yard on that. That is impressive because Anderson had him stopped for about a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, I thought he was definitely tackled for a loss, but they've been coming on that right side, Post Falls, and finally paid off there.
2nd and 10, option play right side. Here's the pitch out to Falavai, cuts back towards the middle. And we'll take it to the 36-yard line for a gain of 11 and a 1st down for Rigby.
And this has kind of been the story for Post Falls tonight, right? They had a really nice defensive play, stop them, no gain, and then they give up a big chunk, and they're just right on the edge there of stopping them, and it's just kind of been those peaks and bounds there.
1st and 10 for Rigby, and now the Trojans with 1:30 to play in the third, up 42-14, they can be a little more deliberate offensively if they want to. Adolfo looks like Post Falls going to blitz again, almost jumped. They'll hand off to Falavai, and he is stonewalled at the line of scrimmage. Miller was in there on the stop for Post Falls, and also crashing in there defensively for the Trojans was Nathan Crowell.
And a couple of the Post Falls defensive linemen had some great balance not to jump over on that.
Yeah, Nathan Crowell, the big nose tackle in there for Post Falls. His twin brother, Michael Crowell, also plays defense for Post Falls. There's a couple of brothers on this Post Falls team. No gain on that carry for Falavai. Makes it 2nd and 10, inside 40 seconds to play here in the third. Dancy, the man in motion. They'll give up the middle again. This is McCullough. And boy, he is fast.
McCullough is very quick.
Lucas McCullough, in the blink of an eye, takes it 12 yards for a first down. He's having a fantastic night, a hat trick on the ground with 3 rushing touchdowns, and 20 seconds and counting here in the third. Rigby up 42-14. Might be able to get one last playoff here. Adolfo ready out of the shotgun, 4 wide. Back to pass, pump fakes once. Now going to duck out and run on the right side. Fires over the middle, that's caught just shy of the 45-yard line. And on the reception was Coons.
Just a rocket from Tiger Adolfo. Just a rocket, and he's able to avoid some pressure and find that open receiver.
And the fireworks go off to signify the end of the third quarter. It is Rigby 42, Post Falls 14. We'll be back with the final quarter of action right after this. You're watching East Idaho Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
Banking. Maybe you enjoy the person-to-person attention you get going to your bank. Maybe you enjoy the convenience of banking from home sweet home. Or maybe you like the flexibility of paying your bills, applying for a loan, or talking to your personal banking person from wherever fits your fancy. Then definitely, you should bank at Mountain West Bank. Member FDIC. The easy, convenient, any way you want to bank.
Welcome back to Hiram C. Blackburn Field in Rigby as the Trojans lead as we enter the fourth quarter, 42-14. Rigby leads over Post Falls. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane as we get ready for the fourth and final quarter of action. Rigby in possession of the ball, pretty much trying to put this game to bed. Post Falls, we've seen glimpses of it tonight, but just haven't been able to get that sustained effort. So it's 2nd down and 7 now for Rigby as we flip the field here in this fourth quarter of action. Adolfo going to take off and run on actually 2nd and 3, and Adolfo will take it for certainly more than 3. We'll take it from the 46-yard line all the way down to the 32. That's a gain of 14 for Tiger Adolfo.
First and 10 for Rigby.
So Rigby picking up right where they left off, and you know, outside of the couple of mistakes tonight, Rigby's looked pretty solid. You know, Adolfo had the fumble, they had the muffed punt on the snap, and that one long touchdown in coverage. But otherwise, it's been a nearly flawless game for Rigby. Up the middle, Zeke Falavai takes it across the 25 and a jump cut to the 21-yard line, and that's enough for a first down. He got 10. It just wears you out. I mean, they run a no-huddle offense, and they just run the ball at you.
You just have no idea who's going to get the ball. There's so many weapons. You stop one guy, there's another guy. I mean, the Rigby's really good at just getting the ball all over the place.
Dancy in motion on 1st and 10. Adolfo going to sling it in the flat. That's caught by Sam Coons inside the 20 down to the 16. Gain of 5 and 2nd and 5 now for the Trojans.
Yeah, just so many offensive weapons for Rigby. You really have to have your head up on the defense and just be very aware of what's going on.
10.5 to play in this ball game. Rigby up 42-14, trying to put the final nail in the coffin here. Adolfo out of the shotgun on 2nd and 5 from the Post Falls 17. Play action fake, flip it in the flat to Con Dancy. And Dancy going to be about a yard shy of the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it at, but yeah, it's going to be 3rd down and 1, really 3rd and inches as Dancy picks up 4 yards on the reception.
Yeah, really close to first down on that.
10 minutes to go, 3rd and inches for Rigby. Ball at the Post Falls 13. Out of the pistol, it's Falavai, met right away, but second effort, Falavai is able to fall forward. Good effort by Jose Laguna of Post Falls, though. However, Falavai is able to pick up 3 yards, they'll say, and take it to the 10-yard line, where it'll be first and goal for Rigby.
First and goal for the Rigby.
And Zeke Falavai's got to be thinking, hey, McCullough has come in tonight with half the amount of carries that I've had. He's had 3 touchdowns. Maybe it's time to get Zeke Falavai one. And off to Falavai, trying to bounce outside, and will take it for a gain of about 4 down to the 6. I'm just joking, of course. This is a pretty unselfish team. All they care about is the success of the team.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll all be happy with the end result, but yeah, he's had some chances too, Zeke Falavai, and maybe right here he'll be able to get another chance at it.
That's kind of what happened last year. Falavai was kind of the bruiser that would lead him downfield, and then Gabe Mobley was kind of the speedster, the senior last year, and so looks like McCullough has slid right into that speed guy role. Second and goal from the 6. Hand off to Falavai, looking for the end zone. He'll be down at the 1. So it'll be a 5-yard gain for Falavai, and third and goal from the 1 here for Rigby. And again, Adolfo out of a pistol formation with 8.5 to play. Falavai gets the call, and there he gets the touchdown for the first time tonight.
Touchdown.
Zeke Falavai from a yard out.
Zeke Falavai.
Rigby extends the lead now, 48-14. And again, you can hear the fireworks explode into the sky.
Just nice down the hill running there by Rigby, and just getting the chunks of yards and getting the touchdown.
Uminski for the point after. He's a left-footed kicker, Sean, and man, he's a good one.
Man, if I got to pick all the player of the games, they'd be kickers, but
well, speaking of, we will hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game during the post-game show. Once this game concludes, we're down to 8:26 to play in the 4th, and it is 49-14 Rigby. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Northwest Paint and Body. Check out Northwest Paint and Body for the best auto body services around, including collision repair and framework. Call Northwest Paint and Body at 208-664-6635 to schedule an appointment. For more information, go to northwestpaintandbodypostfalls.com. Northwest Paint and Body are proud supporters of Post Falls Athletics. Good luck in the game tonight. 8:26 to play, and Rigby leading 49-14. And now if you're Post Falls, you're trying to build some momentum ahead of next week's game at home. They will take on the Moses Lake Chiefs from Washington State. That ball booted deep inside the 5, going back to get it. And a nice return here for Post Falls across the 30, or right just shy of the 30-yard line. That's a nice return by Dylan Wolf. So Dylan Wolf on the return, and so Post Falls, as they continue non-conference play, Sean, they've got 3 Washington opponents coming up in their next 4 games. They'll be home against Moses Lake, and then they will travel to Central Washington. They're going to play a neutral site game against the Mount Si Wildcats. They're from Snoqualmie, Washington. Then they'll host Lakeland in a game where both teams could be fighting for playoff positioning. And then they'll travel to Pasco before conference play begins in early October. And off to Sullivan, blown up in the backfield. No surprises there as Rigby penetrates again. They have just been all over the field tonight. That time coming through was Sam Webster, the junior. So you're starting to see Rigby mix in some of the backups and reserves, and Webster comes through that time.
Yeah, nice to get some guys some time going forward. You never know who you're going to need to step up, and in football, it's great to have all the different defensive position players that Rigby does.
7:40 to play in the ball game. Loss of 3 on that carry for Sullivan. 2nd and 13. Sullivan gets the call again and will take it to the 26. So that's a gain of only 2 on the carry for Jacob Sullivan, and 3rd down and 12 now for Post Falls. You got to get to the 38-yard line to pick up the first down.
And it's just been tough sledding for Post Falls on the 3rd downs. So a lot of the 3rd downs have been long too, and just tough with that Rigby defense.
We talk about Rigby and what's coming up on the schedule for them. They will play Skyline next week. That game will be in Holt Arena in Pocatello as part of a doubleheader. They'll kick off at 8:15 next Friday night. Anderson over the middle. That's complete to the 35, the 40, and the 45. And Dalton Wild will scamper out of bounds after a gain of 17 on that reception.
I know Skyline's head coach really likes playing in Holt Arena. He kind of feels it. It's like a home field to him.
It's interesting that both Rigby and Skyline would agree to drive the hour or so to Pocatello when they could just meet much closer. But part of a doubleheader, and I can't remember what the first game is. It involves one of the Pocatello schools, I think, and then after that it'll be two teams from District 6 playing in Holt Arena. 6:45 to play. 1st and 10 for Post Falls. Anderson in the flat. That pass is complete to Gentry. Gentry Smith will take it across the 50 and to the Rigby 48-yard line. That's a gain of 4 on 1st down. First reception of the night for Gentry as well. 6:35 to play. 49-14, Rigby leading. Anderson out of the pistol. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Sessions, the lone receiver at the bottom. Anderson ready, gets the call. Man in motion is the tight end. Will turn and play action fake. Waggling out. Anderson throwing deep. That ball is caught across the 40 and right around the 38. That's a nice reception by Carson Tucker. So they needed 10. Tucker gives him about 15, and that's another first down. So Carson Tucker now with 5 receptions in this contest, and we're starting to see that potential. You know, he transferred in from Spokane. New addition to this Post Falls offense. So, I mean, almost everybody is a new addition to the offense, and you know, I think by late September, this Post Falls offense should be a fine-tuned machine.
Yeah, that connection from Anderson to Tucker, I think you're going to hear that a lot this season for Post Falls.
Yeah, it could be a lethal combo. The nice thing for Post Falls is with only 4 teams in their conference, they've got plenty of time to figure things out. Really all that matters is winning the league. Anderson over the middle, that ball almost intercepted. Right through the breadbasket. Almost picked off by Zach Hawks, and Hawks can't believe he dropped it.
It was right in there. I think he was almost surprised that it was right at him in his hands.
So an incomplete pass there by Anderson. Makes it 2nd and 10 with the ball at the Rigby 37 with 6:26 to play. And yeah, like we said, Post Falls at this point is trying to get some positive momentum heading into next week's home contest against Moses Lake. Anderson deep over the middle, overshot everybody. He was trying to go to the tight end that time, Jake Bustamante, but ends up overthrowing him. Bustamante, a junior, and 3rd and 10 now for Post Falls. Inland Empire League is going to be tough this year. Coeur d'Alene, of course, the favorite up there in the 5A IEL, and Lewiston thinks they've got a pretty solid squad, and Lake City slowly figuring things out. They got a nice win over Lakeland to start their season, so they're 1-0. In fact, it was kind of bizarro. Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls, the 2 teams picked to finish at the top, were both 0-1 after the opening week. Coeur d'Alene lost to Lehigh in the Rocky Mountain Rumble, and it was Lewiston and Lake City, the quote-unquote 3rd and 4th place teams that were both 1-0. Anderson going to step up on 3rd and 10. Looked like he was over the line of scrimmage. Throws deep for Tucker. It's incomplete anyways, and now the officials are going to talk about it. Then they're going to get him for the penalty there. And Anderson was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw that pass. So officials will get together here and talk it out. He's been close a couple of times tonight, but
well, and that pressure comes. He's just trying to get out of the way. He's trying to make, Anderson's just trying to make something happen for his team, and just went a little too far forward.
Yep.
Looking at a
21-0, Coeur d'Alene leading Sandpoint in the second half. And again, scores from around the state on our website, part of the Friday Night Flash on IdahoSports.com. Our intern, Keller Sherman, doing a fantastic job of keeping all of those scores updated. Highland now leading Logan 37-0 in the third quarter. Idaho Falls led Blackfoot at halftime, 21-14. Coeur d'Alene now leading Sandpoint 21-2 in the second quarter, so the Bulldogs must have gotten a safety. 4th and 15, Post Falls will punt here, and that's a good one. Will ultimately fall into the end zone for a touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 20-yard line with 6:07 to go.
The Rigby player looked like he was like, oh man, I should have caught that and went for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with this Rigby offense. They scored 49, but we want 55, right?
Well, I was going to say
that's what makes them so good as well.
They had 44 when they played Post Falls last year, so at least they topped that score, I guess,
And it looks like finally we might start to get some of the backups in here for Rigby. It looks like the new quarterback in is Luke Flowers. He's a sophomore. So we'll update you of the lineup changes as Rigby goes along here. Flowers will drop back to pass. We'll throw a screen pass in the flat. That's a nice reception up to the 30-yard line. That's Brady Packer. He's a junior, and Brady Packer will take it for a gain of 14 and a first down.
Nice effort there by Packer. Thought he was tackled. Just kept moving the feet and got a few extra yards. And, well, the first down.
And so this is how you develop a winning program year after year. You get those younger players, those backups into a varsity game. They're going to play 6 minutes of varsity action here. This is so exciting for Rigby as a program. Flowers out of the shotgun will hand off this time, and a gain of a yard, maybe 2. On the stop for Post Falls was Trevor Miller, and on the carry for the Trojans that time was Mason Burgess. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for these Rigby, guys that don't get that time to get in here. And, if he's a sophomore or junior, they're coming back next year, and just any minutes you get out there just really help in building that confidence and that rapport with the other players for next year. Just a great opportunity.
And the numbers in Rigby's program, strong, certainly. They probably got 2-1 in terms of the players on Post Falls'. Well, it's actually pretty even. A bunch of them were huddled into the tent. That's why it looked like Post Falls.
Yeah, when you said that, I'm like, yeah, Post Falls has got like 10 guys.
Yeah, where'd they all go?
They were all reviewing some film or something in the tent.
Yeah, I looked up and I was like, boy, that sideline got awfully small. But, yeah, in terms of numbers in the program, yeah, Post Falls and Rigby are probably pretty similar. Of course, just like
two solid coaches, you have good coaching you have good coaches, a good staff. Those kids come and play.
Well, and the other interesting thing is Rigby and Post Falls, they're the only high schools in their respective cities, right? Both growing cities with one high school, so the numbers are always going to be good. Luke Flowers going to take off and run, gets upended at the end of the play, but is able to pick up the first down. That was Zachary Clark on the tackle for Post Falls, but Luke Flowers is able to scramble for 7 and pick up the first down for Rigby.
Yeah, and Rigby has a new high school here. I want to say it's 5 years old or so, but it's a good-looking high school.
Yeah, you can kind of see it in the backdrop here. It's right behind the visitors' bleachers where the Post Falls fans are sitting tonight, and they traveled well for this long road game.
Yeah, it was not a quick trip.
And now a penalty flag comes in at the end of the play as well as Post Falls is Chase Berg is throwing up his hands saying, what did I do? Meanwhile, on the carry that time for Rigby, like it was Cade Steffler, a sophomore.
Personal foul.
Actually, that was Burgess on the carry again, and yeah, personal foul here against Chase Berg of Post Falls. Maybe
late hit.
Said something. I don't know.
Late hit, but
either way,
his hands went up immediately. So,
and that's how we knew that he was the one that was called, right? Just based on the reaction. So 15-yard penalty makes it 1st and 10 for Rigby. Ball at the Post Falls 38-yard line. They will hand off up the middle to Burgess, and Burgess will take it to the 35. Yeah, pretty new high school here at Rigby High. Of course, Post Falls has a great high school as well. I love their basketball gym. Good atmosphere in there, and of course, Post Falls and head coach Mike McLean, they've got a great boys basketball program, and the football program trying to get to that level of success.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities. You know, they had a pretty good year last year, and this year they're just kind of building.
Late pitch. That ball, a dangerous pitch there on the option play from Flowers, and Burgess got popped for no gain on that carry. Well, say he gained a yard. It's 3rd and 9 now.
Almost could have been intercepted. A Post Falls player could have just almost snuck in right there on that pitch.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times where they try the pitch and it's basically intercepted. And I guess, what do you call that?
You
call it a fumble? You call it
if
a
it's
fumble.
going forward, it would be an interception, right?
But it's a running play. It's not like if you run an option play and you pitch it to the running back.
That's true.
Yeah, so I guess a fumble is how that would officially go. They're going to empty out the backfield there, and Flowers is going to take off up the middle on a draw. Flowers looking for the end zone. Flowers inside the 5. 1st and goal for Rigby. With 2 minutes to play, Luke Flowers, the sophomore, taking every advantage of the opportunity he's got here late in the game.
Flowers has got some wheels on him.
So we talked about Post Falls the last couple of years has been a team that's been solid, qualifying for the playoffs, but they haven't been able to take that next step and advance in the postseason. And so head coach Blaine Bennett trying to find the right formula. Meanwhile, Rigby trying to find the end zone. And Burgess will take it inside the 5 down to the 4, gain of a yard.
And Post Falls is a very hard league, right? I mean, Coeur d'Alene, always super tough, top of the state in rankings. He's played in a ton of state championship games, and just not a bad team usually in that league. So just playing tough games, game in and game out.
Yeah, always very competitive, that's for sure. Looks like Rigby is going to call off the Dogs here and kneel down with 1:05 to go. And so I like that. Good sportsmanship from head coach Armando Gonzalez. The Rigby Trojans are going to move to 2-0 on the season, and I think at this point, Sean, the undisputed #1 team in Class 5A football.
I would agree with you there. You know, watching a few of the games the past few weeks, and I hadn't seen Rigby play, but they look great. They look really good, and on both sides of the ball, you know, defense and offensively, they bring a balance on both sides that is just going to be tough as the year goes on.
Rigby will kneel it down one more time, and that game next week against Skyline should be interesting. The defending 4A champs from a year ago. That'll be in Holt Arena at 8:15 next Friday night. Post Falls, meanwhile, will head back home with an 0-2 record, and they will take on Moses Lake a week from tonight. The final 10 seconds tick off the clock. Rigby already heading out to shake hands with the coaching staff of Post Falls, and the Rigby Trojans win tonight by the final of 49-14. Here come the fireworks. No?
What? Oh, there we go.
There's the fireworks.
You know, Aberdeen last week, they had quite a good firework display, too.
Yeah. Well, they say in broadcasting, in the entertainment business, timing is everything. We were a little early out of the gate calling the fireworks there.
We've never been wrong.
That's right, and I stand by it. The Rigby Trojans certainly brought the fireworks tonight as they win the final score over Post Falls, 49-14. We will be back with the IdahoSports.com post-game show right after this break. You're watching East Idaho Game Night on Idaho Sports.
The injuries look like those seen in people exposed to poisons like mustard gas. That's how doctors are describing what they see in the lungs of vapors. The chemicals can essentially burn your lungs. Find the truth at BehindTheHaze.com.
At Toyota's national sales event, we don't just help you get the perfect vehicle. We're here to open new doors that lead to your road to greatness. Your journey starts at Toyota's national sales event.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I'm Corey. I'm a dairy nutritionist here in the Treasure Valley. I decided to get vaccinated because I wanted to do my part to protect myself and my family and my customers from COVID-19. As soon as the vaccines were readily available, I was vaccinated. I would encourage people to do the research, listen to the healthcare providers. When I went to get my COVID-19 vaccine, there was hardly any wait. It was an easy process, is readily available. Since I got vaccinated, I'm confident I'm protected against the COVID-19 virus. My life has returned to business as usual.
Ads like this keep popping up, but I see through the hype because those vape clouds people claim are just water vapor contain as many as 31 different chemicals, like formaldehyde, the stuff they preserve dead bodies with. And while the flavors sound all harmless, we still have no idea what these ingredients could be doing to our bodies. But I already see vaping for exactly what it is. Get the real facts at BehindTheHaze.com.
It's not a secret that finding a new car this year is a little tricky. Between chip shortages and supply problems, there's more reasons than ever to come to our no-problem dealerships when you need a new car or truck. Our acquisitions team works hard to make sure that we have a great selection of vehicles to choose from, and our easy-to-buy, easy-to-do business with sales team is ready to deliver the same great value price that we've had for nearly 20 years. Teton Toyota, where it's always no problem to buy and service your car.
Welcome back to East Idaho Game Night here on IdahoSports.com, coming to you live from Hiram C. Blackburn Field, where the Rigby Trojans defeat the Post Falls Trojans tonight by the final score of 49-14. Welcome into the IdahoSports.com postgame show. Brandon Baney alongside Sean Kane. Wow, Rigby tonight offensively looked just absolutely stunning. It ended up being 3 touchdowns on the ground for Lucas McCullough. Tiger Adolfo threw a pair of touchdown passes, a 30-yarder to Coleman Lords, the 51-yarder to Taylor Freeman, and then he also had a 2-yard touchdown run. Oh, and a 25-yard touchdown pass to Sam Coons. So Tiger Adolfo had 3 touchdowns passing tonight. I mean, this is a Rigby team, 2-0, and they look like the team to beat in 5A football.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were firing all cylinders. I almost had to put my sunglasses on. It was so bright with offense here tonight. But, yeah, they you think one person, you might have D'd up one person. Rigby would find another player to take over. They'd find another running back to take that carry. But they have a lot of mouths to feed, and they're not going home hungry tonight.
Yeah, everybody contributed to the win, that's for sure, for Post Falls. Oh, and also Rigby defensively had 2 takeaways tonight, a pair of interceptions, one by Trevin Talbot, one by Zabe Falavai. For Post Falls tonight, the quarterback, Jackson Anderson, scored on a 2-yard touchdown run, and then he threw a 27-yard dime to Carson Tucker for 6. And if they can get that combo figured out, and if the offensive line can coagulate a little more and give Anderson a clean pocket to throw from, I think this is a Post Falls team that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely. In the first half, too, they had Tucker had an opportunity to catch one in the end zone and just fell out of his hand. So he could be walking away with 2 touchdowns tonight, too. And, yeah, the offensive line maybe needs a little more gel, but you kind of have to give credit to Rigby's defensive line. They put the pressure on all night as well.
Yeah, that Rigby defense, the pass rush was relentless. Post Falls did have one takeaway defensively as Vernon Pine recovered a fumble from Tiger Adolfo. Well, Sean, it's time to hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game, and we reached a consensus pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's a ton of players tonight that were worthy of it, but we thought, efficiency killed the cat, and Lucas McCullough is going to be our Idaho Sports player of the game. He had 7 carries for 63 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's 9 yards per carry. Super efficient. If I could put him on my fantasy football team, I would.
I mean, he touched the ball 7 times tonight, and 3 of them ended with him in the end zone.
So almost half of his touches were scores.
And I'm glad that Zeke Falavai, who got 18 carries tonight and the most rushing yardage, did get that last touchdown for Rigby, so he got a touchdown as well. So congratulations to Lucas McCullough. He's a RB2 on this Rigby team. He is the speed to Zeke Falavai's Thunder, just like last year with Gabe Mobley and Falavai. That's going to be a tough 1-2 combo to stop once again. So the Rigby Trojans 2-0 defeat the Post Falls Trojans 49-14. Up next for Rigby is a game against Skyline next Friday night inside Holt Arena in Pocatello. They will kick off at 8:15 next Friday night. It'll be the second game of a doubleheader for Post Falls. They will return home with an 0-2 record, and they will host the Moses Lake Chiefs from Washington. That'll be next Friday night at 7 o'clock as well. That'll do it for this IdahoSports.com Game Streams production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group. Our major sponsors that make coverage on IdahoSports.com possible include your local Toyota dealer, Toyota, let's go places, Valley-wide Co-op and Country Stores, and Project Filter, Idaho Fights Tobacco. We'd also like to thank our local sponsors tonight, Mountain West Bank, John Adams GMC, Teton Volkswagen, Knutson Chevrolet, Northwest Paint and Body, Madison Orthopedics, Taylor Chevrolet, Upper Valley Orthopedics, and Super One Foods. And congratulations again to Lucas McCullough, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, the junior running back for Rigby, 7 carries, 63 yards, 3 touchdowns, average 9 yards per carry, as the Rigby Trojans roll over the Post Falls Trojans 49-14. Well, Sean, next week we take the show on the road again. It's going to be another great night of East Idaho Game Night from IdahoSports.com. And where are we headed next week?
Well, we got the dartboard out, and we threw it to...
Next week, September 10th, we will be in Shelley.
I was going to say Jerome, but we're at Shelley.
So the Jerome Tigers will travel to Shelley to face the Russets in a 4A non-conference matchup. And actually earlier in the day, we're also going to be broadcasting live the Tiger Grizz cross-country invitational from Idaho Falls. How about that? I believe for the first time in its history, IdahoSports.com will be broadcasting a cross-country meet. This is one of the biggest meets of the year. It's co-hosted by Skyline and Idaho Falls, obviously Tiger Grizz. And I'm going to be there on the it's not the play-by-play. What do you call it? The
like
lap,
at the win or
the lap
at the
by
winning
lap?
line?
I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll be at the start line.
Brandon will be on his bike with a headset following them, like, the Tour de France, those guys, those crazy camera guys.
Following the action, yeah, I'll be there on the call of the event with Lauren Jensen. So that'll be next Friday afternoon, and then I'll head on down to Shelley and we'll call the Jerome Tigers and the Shelley Russ. It should be a great time. And, of course, you can see all of the games that we have available to broadcast on our website, IdahoSports.com, and just click on the Game Streams tab. And don't forget, as the rest of your Friday night is winding down, swing it on over to the Friday Night Flash on the homepage of IdahoSports.com. Our intern, Keller, is doing a great job of updating as many games as he can from across the state. So you want to know how everybody else did statewide tonight, just click on the Friday Night Flash on the homepage of IdahoSports.com. All right, that's enough talking from us. Rigby defeats Post Falls 49-14 the final. For Sean Kane, I'm Brandon Baney. Good night, everybody, from IdahoSports.com.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com game streams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com is strictly prohibited.